Hello everyone, my name is Matthew, aka Legion Rex, and welcome to a very, very special podcast, and with me is my co-host Shane, aka the Bearded One. How are you doing, Shane, today?
Oh, Sasuke! Off to a great start.
We're off to an amazing start. Yeah.
So what the fuck are we doing, Matt?
We're doing the G.A.P, generic anime podcast. This is a much older podcast that we did a while back, and after some discussion, we've decided to restart it, like bring it back, just because we've been wanting to for a while, and now thanks to the efforts of me, we now have the materials and the motivation to do so. So
yes.
I'm honestly really excited that we brought this back.
Yeah, I really yeah, because it's been almost 2 years since the last time we did an episode of The G.A.P, and in that time, we've both grown as individuals, as content creators, and we have both watched a lot more anime, so I feel like we have the credentials to bring this back on a somewhat regular basis and actually make it good and interesting.
Yeah, the question is, do we actually?
We'll find out, I guess, because we fucking tried. We tried recording for like 20 minutes and nothing was working, so we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find out. But then, we'll definitely find out this episode because, okay, so normally there will be a very specific structure to the G.A.P episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go through the anime news for the past 2 weeks. And followed by, and then the second half of the podcast would be dedicated to talking about an anime that was chosen the last week as our featured anime of sorts.
Yeah.
We're not doing that this week.
No.
Because it's the start of a new anime season.
It is.
So, what I've decided to do is we're going to go through all of the new all the new TV anime that have come out for the past, that are going to come out over this new season, ignoring the short form stuff, movies, and any leftovers.
Kill me now.
There's a lot this season.
End my suffering.
Yeah, but it would also, that's speaking of credentials, this is gonna prove if we have the credentials or not. So
yeah, seeing as how I have 5 goddamn pages of notes for all these fucking anime that are coming out.
There's a lot this season. There's actually a lot this season, a lot more than I was expecting.
I don't get it.
I don't, but so Shane, we're gonna get started whenever you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready whenever.
Alright. So, how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go through them in alphabetical order, which will make it easier. In terms of, for all those listening at home, we'll be using AniCharts, which is a website that I use consistently to keep track of all the upcoming anime and whenever the new anime episodes are at.
Yes.
And so if I miss an anime that's not on their website, I very much apologize. But for the most part, I really doubt that they left anything off.
Yeah.
If they did, they
and
sucked.
also there's like so many shows on that list already, like I think we can handle missing 1 or 2.
Alright, so the first one we're going to be talking about is a show, well, it is a sequel to a show that doesn't is more something of a cult classic. Sane, have you ever heard of a show called Basilisk?
I have heard of Basilisk. I personally haven't watched it myself, but it has been on my list for quite some time. So I was really interested to see that a sequel series was the first show that we'd be talking about for this season.
Yeah, it's been 13 years too since the first season.
So it really is like a cult classic revival of sorts.
Yeah, basically, because the original Basilisk was a show that that wasn't the most popular thing on the planet, but it has the people who love Basilisk fucking love Basilisk.
Yeah, so it's one of those shows.
Yeah. What's interesting about it too is that the original Basilisk had a closed ending. Like there was no setup for a sequel at all. And so I'm very intrigued as to what the hell this is.
Yeah, so what is its title, Matt?
Its official English title is Basilisk: The Oka Ninja Scrolls, and it is the official sequel to Basilisk from 2005, all the way back in 2005. But the same studio who did the original Basilisk was animated by Studio Gonzo, will not be returning to do this series. Instead, Studio 7 Arcs, who are best known for the Lyrical Nanohana series, will be picking up the slack for this. Alright, they do good shit outside. They do some good stuff. Interesting choice. They usually do magical girl stuff, so this is a very, very different show for them.
Weird change of direction, then.
Yeah, weird change of direction. The one thing that has me reserved about Basilisk is that the guy they got to direct did a little show called Glass Slip, and that show was really bad. So...
Off to a great start.
So I'm really nervous. I hope this is good, because the original Basilisk holds up really well. But we'll see. The original series was picked up by Funimation.
Yeah.
This show has not been picked up by them yet. But I
great.
would imagine that they would.
But yeah, the original series was picked up by Funimation. They dubbed it. It's on Funimation now, so...
Yeah.
If they really want to, they can pick this up pretty easily, I would assume.
They would assume. They have not picked it up yet, though, so it is currently unlicensed. But outside of that, I thought it looked good. I thought the trailer was fucking lit. What about you?
Well, okay, why don't we go through all your thoughts on this, and then we'll transition over to me.
Alright, well, okay, so I've seen Basilisk once, and it was a while back, but I remember really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to this. I have my reservations because of the director and the new studio, and the fact that it's been 13 years since the first one. But honestly, that PV was really, really good, and honestly, if it's as good as the original Basilisk, I'll be more than happy, because the original Basilisk holds up from what I've seen, holds up magnificently. So, yeah.
All right.
Alright.
I guess I have more in-depth notes than you, because I was actually paying attention to, like, very intricate little things. First off, I do agree, it does look pretty good, from what I have seen from that PV. I think it was really well done. One thing I want to mention, that it kind of becomes a recurring trend throughout most of these trailers for these shows, no subtitles. Which kind of made it, as, you know, an English speaker, kind of hard to follow. But,
most of the
give or take.
PVs never usually have English subtitles, though, so that's not a surprise.
Yeah, so give or take, it's not really a complaint, it's just an observation I made.
Yeah.
I like the setting, like the feudal Japan atmosphere is really cool.
Oh yeah, Basilisk is a fantasy series, too, as you noticed.
That's what it's like fucking fantasy samurais. I'm all over that shit. From what I could see, it seems to have like a 50-50 atmosphere, because there were some parts of the PV that were really dark and gritty, and they really focused on like kind of a more depressing atmosphere, but then the other half was like bright and colorful and really vivid. So
yeah, that's the one thing that put me off, because the original Basilisk was mostly that first part.
Yeah, that's what it seemed. It seemed to like flip flop a lot. Which, if it's trying to go for that darker atmosphere, might end up being a problem. But if it has good direction, then they might actually be able to pull it off.
Yeah. the whole thing with the dark atmosphere is that I think from what I could tell from what I remember, the happy stuff was flashbacks to before the original Basilisk. 'Cause that's what I think.
Okay.
So
Okay, if
might
they
be it.
stick to that then, and like all the stuff happening in present time is like dark, gritty, I think they'll be fine with
That's
that.
gritty for like a guy who literally like can spawn fire out of his hands, but okay.
Yeah, as gritty as you can make that, realistically. In terms of character designs, nothing really stood out for me. Like, pretty standard designs overall for the characters. The animation, though, was fantastic. It's very good animation.
Yeah, animation was really well done. Not surprised considering the people behind it.
Yeah. It was really detailed and expressive, and I really dug the animation. But my favorite part of the PV by far was the opening track, Hot Blood. That was fucking killer.
Oh yeah, the Dark Horse best opening of the season, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know, man, because
There's some good shit this season.
There's some good shit this season, and in terms of soundtracks and OSTs and stuff, there's a recurring trend of like really fucking great soundtracks with this season's show. So we'll see. But yeah, that opening track was fucking killer. Loved it. Yeah. So overall, I might watch this show. I'm not entirely certain on it yet, but if it has good direction and it can balance its tone properly, then I think it would be a pretty worthy follow-up to the original.
Yeah. This might make me rewatch the original Basilisk, to be honest.
This might make me watch Basilisk.
Yeah. There's a plot twist. There's actually no basilisks in this show. So.
Oh no!
Oh shit! Alright.
Oh, so Taishi.
We have that. We have Basilisk out of the way. Then move on.
Okay,
to the
moving on.
Move on to the next anime, which is an anime based on a novel, known as Beatless.
Or Matt, please, more accurately speaking, Beatloo.
Now what got my attention initially with Beatless was not the actual show itself, but who's directing it. This is going to be directed by Seiji Mizushima. He's best known as the director of the original Fullmetal Alchemist show.
Oh, shit!
Yeah. And
I'm way more interested in this show now. Because, spoiler warning, I didn't really do much outside research other than what I was given from the website and the PVs, so Matt's gonna be covering all that shit. But, oh, man, okay. I had high hopes for the show to begin with, but now after that,
did this just jump up to possibly one of the most anticipated of the season for you?
Oh, I might actually watch the show now.
Yeah. It's based on a novel. And the studio Diamondea is best known for doing Bokurano and a bunch of other smaller work. One thing that really stuck out to me about Beatless though was its premise. I love this premise. I think this show sounds awesome. The whole thing of it looks like kind of like it has like that like sci-fi. It has that like element of like what it mean, like that style of like what like that those Blade Runner style themes, like what it means to be human, but with like robots and shit. I love that sort of stuff, and apparently the novel is amazing. Like everyone who I've read some stuff, like I looked up like reviews of the book, and apparently the book is stellar. Mm-hmm. So that gets me even more excited, and that trailer was really good too.
Yeah, that trailer was PV. Actually very good.
That was an amazing PV. The animation wise, this looks gorgeous too. And the music is like the music's really unique. Like it has the really unique. Probably had some of my favorite just not like opening music, but like just score out of all the anime. It was one of my favorites. So, what about you?
Okay. Well, I had good things to say about this before you dropped that bombshell of the director, and
Yeah.
but yeah, I was really interested in the show. A couple things I took away from it. First off, throughout the entire PV, there's no dialogue.
Yeah,
There
that's
is
what
not a
also got me.
single line of dialogue, which I found really intriguing. Especially since it's a trailer to promote the show, so that's a really interesting way to present it. It's like not a single line of dialogue; it's all visuals.
Yeah.
I thought the character designs are good, if a little standard. I thought, they didn't really stick out all that much, even though I did find them to be well designed. Obviously, animation is great. It's got a great art style. Love it. The main thing I took away from this trailer is that it seemed really bland at first. Like, nothing was really hooking me. It seemed like just, another generic seasonal show that, a studio's just putting out there. Until we get to the second half and shit goes fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, this looks like it's gonna be one of those shows that gets like super dark, super fast.
Cause like the first half was like, it seemed like really generic, and I'm like, okay, you gotta do something, you're losing interest. And then it cuts to the scene with the dude finding the arm in the alleyway, and it gets super dark. And then the fucking the female characters start like transforming into these like over the top lavish designs, and I'm like, okay, you got me. What is this?
Yeah.
And like, it seemed to me like it's gonna incorporate action and horror elements based on that transition in the trailer. And the main thing I took away from this, and I think you'll get a kick out of this, is that by the end of the trailer, when they're like transforming into their fucking extreme designs and shit, and they're flying around, it reminds me of Symphogear.
It actually does.
It reminds me of Symphogear without the idol stuff. Like,
Yeah,
if you had Symphogear, but they weren't idols, they were just like really badass fucking female characters that like transformed into these like fucking superhero type ordeals. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it really did. Now that you mention it, it does remind me of Symphogear in a lot of ways.
So I was already interested in the show, but after you told me who's directing this, I might actually watch this.
Well, it might be hard for you to watch because it got licensed by Amazon. So, gotta do what you gotta do to watch your shit.
However, I will mention that actually the day we're recording this, Amazon said that they're discontinuing Anime Strike.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, they said that they're
not surprised.
Yeah, they said that they're getting rid of Amazon Strike and they're going to incorporate all the anime that was on there into the regular Prime Video package.
I'm not. That's what they should have done in the first place. But okay.
But still, it's Amazon, so fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah, but whatever.
Well, here we go. Okay, right. Moving on. One of my picks for anime of the season, one of them, I'm very excited about this. Matt, what is it?
I think everyone is. So, Cardcaptor Sakura's back after almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Almost 20 years. And it has returned with the show Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card. What makes this really special, too, is that the director of the original series has returned to work on this, along with the entire original cast. Along with Studio Madhouse returning to do the animation work. It will be... I honestly... I almost was tempted to not watch the PV for this, because I already know because I'm a
Yeah.
huge Cardcaptor Sakura fan. I've
Like,
seen.
yeah, like seriously, when you look at the list and you see Cardcaptor Sakura, and you're like, oh, I don't even have to do any research. I was very tempted to just like skip it and be like, yeah, it's Cardcaptor. I'm gonna fucking watch it.
Yeah. They did confirm it will be 26 episodes.
Ooh, it's a long one then.
Especially nowadays, considering we rarely get that nowadays, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Seeing as how normally we get like 12, 13 episode seasons.
Yeah. And if you're lucky, 14.
Yeah. Or if you're lucky, you're something like Ancient Magus Bride and you get 24.
Yeah. Yeah, which, by the way, has been fantastic so far. But I was like, nope, I'm gonna watch the PV, I'm gonna see if it holds up. Yeah, it holds up. It looks so good. I also like how it looks. It doesn't look like a reboot. It's very much a sequel.
It looks like a direct continuation, which I very much appreciate.
Yeah. We rarely get those nowadays, like actual, like, just direct continuations that are like, yes, this is the natural continuation of a story.
Yeah.
And that would, honestly, it's Cardcaptor Sakura. It will be great.
Yeah, we really don't have to say much about this one.
It got picked up by Funimation, so
yeah, so it's on their simuldub schedule for the season, and Crunchyroll is simulcasting it starting next week, actually.
The question is, will they use the original OG English dub cast? That is what the big question is.
I want them to, and I know it's not going to happen, but goddamn, my dreams would come true. I want them to bring in the Canadian dub cast. Because the fucking Canadian dub of Cardcaptor Sakura is my fucking childhood. The one that fucking aired on YTV when I was like 6 years old. That shit is bomb.
That shit was bomb.
And that fucking, like, I've tried to go back and watch, like, the American dub, I think, that was done by Funimation, and I can't, because I am fucking nostalgia biased towards that goddamn Canadian dub. Which sucks, because all the streaming services have is the American dub, so I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
But
I think the American dub is uncut, unlike the Canadian dub, though. That's probably why.
Oh, but I fucking love it.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura, we're watching it. Alright.
Yeah, okay.
Next
I'm just gonna say a couple things, because I got notes. I got notes, boy.
Alright.
Literally the first thing in my notes for Cardcaptor is fuck! That's all I really have to say, but I'm gonna keep... Yeah, that's really all I have to say, but I'm gonna keep going. Animation's fucking spectacular. It's vivid, it's lively. Yeah, it's bursting with energy. I love the color palette specifically really hooked me. It really captures the essence of Cardcaptor Sakura just wonderfully. I liked the interesting new elements that they're introducing into the series, mainly the transparent cards. Really hooked me. It's like, wow, that's an interesting plot element.
Yeah.
I wonder where this is going.
Yeah, probably something similar to the original. Get all the cards, save the world.
Yeah. Great soundtrack. Fucking, I don't have to say anything about that. Fits the theme perfectly. One of my notes in here is cute as heck. Because it is cute as heck.
Adorable.
And fucking Madhouse. Yes, let's fucking go.
Yeah. This is probably going to be the best show of the season, I think.
It's definitely up there.
It's in contention with another one that we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
That we'll get to eventually.
In a couple minutes. But honestly, it's in my running for show of the season already. And all I watched was like a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, and it was great.
It was fucking fantastic. Okay, I'm done gushing about Cardcaptor. Let's move on.
Yeah, alright. The next one is not Cardcaptor. It's
therefore making it inferior.
If they fuck this up, it will be inferior.
Oh yeah, specifically this one. If they fuck this up, they're in deep trouble.
Because this is one that people have been asking for like for a fucking year ever. The next one is Citrus, which is a adaptation of a very famous Yuri manga.
Mm-hmm.
Famous for very specific reasons in the fact that even though it is not technically hentai, it famously gets really explicit.
Mm.
And this is a show that's airing as a show and not an OVA.
Yeah.
So, my question is, how the fuck are they gonna do this? Because this manga is really explicit. Like, really explicit.
I'm like, who picked this up? Do you have any idea?
Funimation picked this up.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Funimation picked this up. It's being directed by the guy who did Roka no Yusha. I haven't seen it. I've only heard things about it. The studio also worked on that show. The Studio Passion. This is a make it or break it moment for Yuri because this is not traditional Yuri, where like most Yuri we see nowadays is like, one, it's garbage. Second, it's complete. It's usually like just cute girls doing cute things, as I like to call it. This is not that. This is very much in the vein of no, this is just a straight up romance that happens to have two females as the leads. And while it could, if done right, this could be a big deal. If it's done poorly, this could be really bad. And
yeah,
and the PV didn't the PV. Well, I've read some of the manga and it's really good. The PV didn't do anything to really get me excited at all.
Yeah, I mean, okay. First off, this isn't really like a point against this show, but if you word out to all you watching, if you're gonna watch anime PVs on YouTube, don't use auto-generated subtitles because they are fucking garbage.
They are.
Because I'm like, oh my god, subtitles, yes! And then I realized that they were just auto-generated, and I was like, what is this fucking gibberish? Did a human write this? No, clearly not. That's nothing against the show, that's just an observation I made. Animation was great. I really have no faults against the animation. Good character designs. I really dug the look of the characters. There was really nothing here that really stood out to me at first until we get to, because, spoiler, I've heard of Citrus before, but I didn't really know what it was about until I researched for this podcast. So, what a shock it would be to me that this standard-looking high school drama-esque show all of a sudden turns into a fucking Yuri, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and what? An explicit one at that, and the trailer makes no qualms of hiding that it's going to get steamy.
No, because I was watching the trailer, I'm like, man, there's really nothing hooking me here, it seems pretty standard, and then there's just that one fucking shot that's like maybe 2 seconds, where the one girl is just groping the other, just like getting her hands all over her, just rubbing her titties, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait a sec, is this a Yuri? Oh, this is a fucking Yuri. Oh, boy. Like, literally, the note I wrote down is this a Yuri? It's totally a Yuri. So, fucking, I don't know, man. I put an asterisk next to it, which means I might watch it. Yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, the manga it's based on is quite good. So
I don't know, man. I'm mixed about this, especially after I read the fucking synopsis and they're fucking stepsisters, and I'm like,
yeah, that's the one.
Hold the fuck up! No. We're not getting into that fucking incest bullshit. We're not doing it
again.
So yeah, that's what I think about this heartwarming anime.
It's very heartwarming. Fun for the whole family.
Yeah, bring your grandmother and make her watch this. She'll love it. Okay, can we move on, please?
Yeah. The next anime is shit. No, it's
Yeah. Honestly,
Dame X Prince Anime Caravan, based on the smartphone game of the same name.
Oh.
We have some shit to say about this one, actually, if I'm moving to
I don't have much to say about it because I was just not interested at all. But
the guy who directed this has only directed one other show, and that was Uta no Prince Sama, the third season of that, which is basically the exact same stuff as this.
Yeah.
And this is the debut anime of Studio Flad.
Oh God. Oh no. This could. Oh God. It's their first show.
Mm-hmm.
This could make or break your careers. And you choose the fucking show that's based on a mobile game?
That's
really
not just any mobile game, a boy idol mobile game.
Boy. Okay, give your thoughts.
It looks like shit.
Yeah.
It does. Look, I know I am probably not the target demographic for this.
No.
At all.
Definitely not.
But at the same time, I know shit when I see it. This looks like shit.
Yeah.
When I was watching the PV, I was just like, I have no idea why this got greenlit in the first place outside. It feels like one of those one of those shows that got greenlit because there's a trend going on right now. Because idols are everywhere in Japan right now, so I'm pretty sure that's the only reason this was greenlit.
Yeah, seeing as how this is not the last idol show we'll be talking about
today. There's a lot
today.
this season. More than there should be. But it is also currently unlicensed, but Crunchyroll will be streaming it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Boy.
I'm not watching it. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm definitely not watching it. Yeah. First off, it's based off a mobile game, which you're already off to a bad start there. Mm-hmm. When you're digging the bottom of the barrel. Right, boy. The trailer specifically reveals nothing. Like, nothing in terms of narrative, nothing in terms of characters, like, nothing. There's nothing to go off here.
Yeah.
The only redeeming quality I found from the show was the character designs.
Yeah, character designs are pretty good.
Character designs are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that sticks out about the show. Otherwise, pass.
But it comes from a mobile game, and that's literally why. Because with a mobile game, you have, like, still images, so they're able to, like, make everything look really good.
Because, like, if this is one of those things where we think it's going to be shit, and then it pulls something out of his ass and turns out to be really good, I will eat my shoe live on camera.
He will actually eat his shoe live. He will cook
I can eat my own shoe.
Cooking with Shane, how to eat your own shoe.
How to boil a leather shoe for consumption. Step 1, boil it.
Step 2, eat it.
Yeah, so really nothing to talk about this show. It's probably going to be shit. Only good thing about it was character designs. I fucking love that. Other than that, nah.
Yeah, skip. What we're not skipping, though, is...
Moving on to quite possibly my show of the season. I've been looking forward to this for quite some fucking time now.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, Matt.
Here we go. Darling in the Franxx, the new original anime from Studio Trigger, who returns with a fucking vengeance here.
And before you go in, literally, I have probably the most notes for this show out of every other show that we're going to talk about today. But literally, I can sum up my opinions on the show in like 3 seconds. Ooh! Okay, I'm done.
What's interesting about Darling is that the guy who's directing this, he's worked with Studio Trigger several times before. He worked on, Kill la Kill, Panty and Stalking, Gurren Lagann. He's worked on them since then. But he's also the director of Idolmaster, for A1, a while back. Which was a decent show.
Interesting.
Which was a decent show, better than I expected it to be.
Interesting.
Literally my opinions notes on this literally just the word yes in all caps. So I have no...
Let's fucking go!
That PV was literally the best PV of the season.
Oh my god.
It looks so good. The visuals. Oh!
You know what? Like, this is, like, hands down my most anticipated show of the season.
Yeah.
And by the end of the season, will probably be my favorite show. There's one other show that we'll talk about near the end that is definitely up there.
Yeah.
But this fucking show looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does. And I cannot wait for it. I mean, it's Studio Trigger. What do you expect?
Like, honestly. Like, if I expect nothing but their fucking A-game, and it looks from that fucking PV that they're bringing it in full force.
Yeah. I'm like, and it's also been a while since we've had a good mecha, and...
Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, fucking fantastic character designs, fucking amazing character designs, I love them. It's such a unique and varied cast. Like, I can clearly, distinctly tell each character from one another and how they'll probably interact with each other and act on their own. Going off of that, they're just incredible art style. You fucking expect that from Trigger. Yeah. It's that distinct Trigger style that bleeds through every fucking frame of the show. I liked specifically the PVs I watched. I like how much focus there is on the world itself. Like, there's a lot of time devoted to showing off the environments, and I really like that, because that's very subtle world building, and I'm a very big fan of that.
Oh,
great direction there. I can take away, like, very distinct personality traits from the characters' designs, which is a very good thing. That's very smart art direction right there.
Yeah.
Animation's fucking beautiful. You expect that from Trigger. I don't have to say that. I wrote this down in my notes. I don't know why. Probably because of the mecha, but then again, you could say that about any show with mecha. Specifically, it reminds me somewhat of Evangelion.
It looks like yeah. The more you think about it, like, the main design looks like Evangelion. I doubt it will be like Evangelion.
No, it definitely won't. But just based off what I've seen, like, Evangelion popped in my head.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a mix between Evangelion and Gurren Lagann.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, we're both done by Studio Gainax. This looks like a homage to, like, the classic days of, like, Gainax mecha, to be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly, we need to return to that. I miss those days.
Yeah. And... the soundtrack.
Oh, that OP, the opening track. The OP that they showed off.
It's so good.
The awesome thing about Darling in the Franxx, too, is that it's an original anime, and it's going to be 26 episodes. So...
I'm a very happy boy now.
My penis can only get so erect, Trigger. Can you please stop?
Oh my god. Are you telling me I can be watching this show into the summer? Yep. Is that what's going on here?
Yes.
Oh, if I wasn't hyped for this show already, let's fucking go.
Let's actually go. Okay, so...
No, but seriously, the soundtrack, fucking beautiful score. Specifically, it reminded me of something straight out of, like, Nier Automata.
It did!
Like, the orchestral score with the female operatic vocals and chanting. It's like, and then that OP track just,
Oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait for this. I literally can't.
Seriously, we need to move on, because we'll just spend the next 3 hours talking about Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, we will. Alright, so moving on. We have Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody.
Not Darling in the Franxx.
Not Darling in the Franxx. Based on the light novel series of the same name. Okay, before we get into what this show is, we're gonna talk about who worked on it. The person who did it is the director of Baka to Test and the Fake Killia Linear Prisma series. which is the Fate series. That's a Magical Girl show.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, it's Studio Silverlink who worked on both of those shows, doing some of the direction. Actually, I forgot to mention, Darling the Franxx got licensed by Funimation. So
Yes, it did. It's on their simuldub list.
yeah, it is. But for Death March, Silverlink is doing it. Death March, it's another one of those trapped in a parallel world shit.
Okay.
It's another one of these. It's an isekai series. We get one of them every season now. Will it be good? Will it be bad? I don't know. I just don't care anymore. There's too much.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no interest. I saw the.
What is this? ReZero?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. ReZero is still the best of these fucking things. So I don't know. It seems to me that this was literally like there's so many of these shows now. They come out like once a season, and there's only like a couple that are actually good. The rest of them are either just super mediocre or just not good. Like that smartphone one that came out before.
Oh, you mean In Another World with My Smartphone?
Yes.
The best anime of 2017?
Yes.
Because if you haven't watched In Another World with My Smartphone, you should definitely watch In Another World with My Smartphone, now available on Crunchyroll and Funimation now. We're not sponsored by either of those companies. Please don't take this seriously.
No, don't actually watch it, please.
However, if the G.A.P gets big enough, we could actually be sponsored by Crunchyroll at some point in the future, which, hey, Crunchyroll, give me money.
Give me money. I need it. The whole thing of this just looks like generic isekai stuff. So if you're a fan of that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the fan base will like eat it up, but like.
I don't know, man. I feel like I was a little more. I feel like I was a little nicer to the show than you were. It actually kind of intrigued me a little bit.
I don't know. I've seen way too many isekai shows to care at this point.
I don't know. So. I really liked it. It had very nice world design. Mm-hmm. Really captured that like fantastical element. I like the character designs. Good character designs. Good animation. There was this aura of mystery that I sensed from the PV, which was very enticing to me. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, and I kind of wanted to find out more until the CG showed up, and then I was like, nope, we're not going here.
Yeah, the CG's pretty bad.
Like, literally, I was intrigued. It had me hooked. It had me there. I was like, man, I might actually watch this. I kind of want to know what's going on. And then that fucking shot of the CG lizard that looked almost as bad, because nothing will be as bad as the new Berserk series, and I was like, oh Christ, no, it's another one of these shows. Oh no.
Yeah.
And then they had the fucking stampede with like the riders coming through, and it looked fucking terrible.
Yeah, it did. It shat the bed too. Plus, nothing about this really screams to me, I must watch this right now.
Yeah, literally, this show had me until the CG showed up, and then it just killed any and all good intentions I had towards this. So I probably won't watch it.
Yeah, unless I hear good things about it. In that case,
who knows?
Who knows? Funimation picked it up. So
I mean, if the dub is good, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But
speaking of stuff I like, next up we have Fate Extra, which is another Fate show.
Another one.
Now I'm excited for this one in particular though, because it's going to be done by Studio Shaft, who did the Monogatari series and Madoka Magica. And it's the director of Monogatari and Madoka Magica working on it. And the PV was fucking lit. And the anime.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was pretty impressed.
It looks fucking lit. I'm already a huge fan of Fate, so I was gonna watch this regardless. But I'm interested to hear what you say. Because I don't think you've seen Fate before.
No, I haven't really seen any of the Fate series.
So I'm
The only one,
interested to see your thoughts.
yeah, the only one I'm really familiar with is Fate Zero, and even then I haven't watched it. So, I really don't have any experience with Fate. But this looked pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed, I might be wrong. You can correct me if I am. This is a video game adaptation.
It's based on a game. Well, most of the Fate stuff is based on like the divisional VN, but this is based on a game which is like a Fate Extra. Okay, is it? So I don't get too confusing because Fate can get fucking confusing as shit. It's based on a game that takes place parallel to the original series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was one thing that kind of turned me off. And like, who knows? Because video game adaptations are here or there. They're either good or they're shit. But the PV really sold me. For gorgeous visuals, just
They're very Shaft visuals too. It literally looked. If you've seen Monogatari or Madoka Magica, you know what to expect from this guy and his studio, and yeah, it looks exactly like that.
Like gorgeous visuals, fantastic animation all the way through. Really excellent character designs. Like this is one of the shows in particular that I think has some of the best character designs of the season so far.
Yeah,
like every single character looked fucking phenomenal, especially the women. I feel like the female cast had some of the best designs I had seen out of all of these shows.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I like to get,
and
that's mostly thanks to the other previous Fate shows, like Saber's in this, and Saber has been designed since like years ago. So that's just Fate in general having really good character. Fate has always really had great character designs in general, so that's not a surprise. At the same time, too, this literally Fate Extra looks like Okay, one of the things I love about Shaft is the way they're able to make even the most innocuous of shots look interesting.
Yeah.
With just like oh, maybe they'll put some trippy shit in the background, or they'll like make things like really beautiful to look at. That's what they look like they're doing here. And I'm really excited to see like what if a Faith series was trippy as fuck, and that seems to be the direction they're going, and I'm excited.
I also like the fact that it's action oriented, because the action shots in this PV were fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah, Fate has always been a heavy action heavy
like there were some really great Sakuga scenes in this PV that really had me hooked. I was like, that animation.
It's known for yeah.
Like those fucking Sakuga scenes, man.
Yeah, if they're known for anything, if Fate is known for anything, it's known for their Sakuga scenes, and this does not seem to disappoint. It is currently unlicensed, but knowing the franchise, it's probably going to get picked up by Aniplex, who own basically all of Fate, with the exception of the Ilia Kiliad series, which is owned by Sentai. But other than that, I'm excited for Fate Extra. I'm really excited.
This one got me. So
might not be
if
a
I
good
have
place to start.
If I have the chance to watch it, I probably will.
Yeah, probably not a good place to start, but
yeah, true. But fun.
Yeah, but okay. Next one.
Moving on to one of the shows I really have nothing interesting to say about.
I have one interesting thing, but it's not like about the show itself, but it's about what I found out about it. The show is called School Babysitters, and it's what the title says. It's literally about two guys, who's like, you have to be the babysitters for these babies, and that's the show.
Yeah.
And that's the show.
That's basically it.
Though the interesting thing I found out about it is that the manga it's based on is apparently really popular and really highly rated among some people.
So is this like the highly anticipated show then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's also very interesting. The writer of this show, the best thing she's known for was writing for Persona 4 the animation.
Oh,
Odd choice.
boy!
Extremely odd choice to me.
That's weird.
And it's Studio's Brains Base, who's best known for Baccano and Durarara. But they've done other like slice of lifestyle stuff before, so this is not a out of the ball game. I literally have nothing to say about this. I saw the trailer. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, like it's got nice animation. It's cute, but it just looks like really standard like slice of life comedy series about dudes and babies. So
three dudes and a baby. That's what that is.
That's all I gotta say. Nice animation. That's it.
Let's move on because we have nothing to say about this.
Oh, moving on to another show we have nothing to talk about.
Oh, we have even less to say about this. Silver Guardian Season 2.
Moving on.
That's literally all we have to say about it. It's the same staff as the first one. Same studio, which is Howliners Animation League. I've never seen the first season. Hot garbage, apparently. But Funimation I've
never heard about this show before. I had to actually go out of my way to research this a little bit to find out what the fuck this show is. Because literally, there is nothing on that site. There's no trailer, there's no fucking synopsis, there's nothing.
There's no staff, there's jack shit.
So literally, I had to go out of my way, because Crunchyroll has the first season, so I had to go out of my way to figure out what this show is about, and we have nothing to say about this fucking show, but I will read you the synopsis that I found on Crunchyroll, just so you can fucking see how stupid this show sounds.
It does. Sounds really
So,
stupid.
the protagonist, Riku Suigen, is a pro-level gamer. Already, fucking red flag. Right there. The heroine, Riku Rei, knows of this and is the most beautiful girl in school, and also loves video games.
Of course.
Of course! Because the main love interest just has to love video games. Suigen receives a device to play a net game called Gravebuster from Rei, but Rei is suddenly kidnapped. When Rei puts his hand on the device, he's sucked into the world of the game. And in that world, a battle between the Tomb Raiders and the Tomb World Protectors from the tomb of the Mother Goddess Bango's tomb has been going on for 100 years.
This synopsis sounds like a bet.
Is this fucking Sword Art Online? Because it sounds like fucking Sword Art Online.
That synopsis sounds like a bet by someone who's like, I bet you can't say the word tomb in like 20 times in the same sentence.
I bet you can't say tomb 20 times in one sentence. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. I'll come up with the dumbest sounding show you've ever heard in your life. You know what's surprising? It turns out we have more to say about this show than we expected.
Because it just sounds stupid, and I don't understand how it got a second season, and if it did, how there's literally no information on it other than it's a thing.
I don't know. It seems to me that it's a Chinese-Japanese co-production. That's literally the only reason it's happening.
Yeah, that's the only interesting thing about it.
Yeah. And it's one of 3 this season, and we'll get to the other 2 in a second.
Moving on.
Next up, Gintama returns.
Yeah, fucking Gintama.
Yeah, it's Gintama. But makes this important, though, is that this is the final season of the final arc of Gintama.
Or so they say.
No, this is.
I know nothing about Gintama, so I'm gonna be a sarcastic bitch.
Yeah, I watch Gintama quite a bit. I'm a big fan. So, and Gintama's been around since like 2006-ish. So seeing Gintama like finally ending, like the manga's wrapping up too. So this isn't a singular event. This is just the end. This is literally the end of an era for arguably one of the best long-running shonen in along with like One Piece and My Hero. It's up there. Crunchyroll's gonna have it like they do the rest of Gintama. Look,
Yeah.
At this,
just standard simulcast like they always do.
If you're a fan of Gintama, you're probably gonna watch this regardless. I mean, you have to. It's the last section, so it's essentially the big wrap up.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Gintama, which I know you haven't, this is not a good place to start.
No, it is not.
no, it is not. I highly recommend watching it though. It is very, very good. Albeit very fun, and it's also very funny. If you like that sort of like kind of like satirical fourth wall breaking humor, it's got a lot of that. It's also fucking weird. That's
sounds like my kind of show then.
Yeah, you would love Gintama. But it's funny though is that in recent arcs, Gintama's actually gotten super serious, and I don't know how to feel about that.
That's the one thing I know about Gintama is that apparently this mostly fucking gag series has become like really super dark lately, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
But ironically, it does dark just as well as it does funny, so it's like, well, it's just like, okay. It does, yeah. And it works. It works probably because they did have those dramatic moments earlier on that prepped us for it. So
yeah. So literally, I know nothing about Gintama. So when I saw this and I saw that it's supposedly the final arc of Gintama, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, I watched the PV knowing nothing about Gintama, and I came out of the PV knowing nothing about Gintama. Like, I could literally take nothing away from this other than it's more Gintama. So, if you're into it, go right ahead. But, I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff that I'm actually kind of excited for, Record of Graincrest War. Based on a light novel series. This is A1 Pictures' new, outside of sequels, this is their big new anime for the season.
Graincrest Senki.
And it's essentially a fantasy war epic. And it's being directed by the guy who did one of my all-time favorite shows of the past, 5 years. And that's Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. It's a lesser known show, but it's really good. Like, insanely good. This is a very different show than that, because that was like a hardcore drama, and this is a fantasy show. So, but I watched the PV for it, and I was like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. This looks pretty lit.
Huh.
What?
I really have nothing to say about this show.
Record of Graincrest War?
No. Like, honestly, I watched the PV, and I'm like, yeah, okay, some nice animation, good character designs. Literally nothing else hooked me. It's like, I came out of that PV, I'm like, this just looks like typical fantasy affair. It looks like dozens of other shows that I've seen over the years. Really, nothing about the show makes it stand out for me, so meh.
Yeah, I mean, I like fantasy war epics, so I'm just excited for it from that. To me, it looked less like a classical fantasy show and looked more like an actual war show that happened to be taking place in a fantasy setting. Because I'm like, this looks like Gundam if you got rid of the mechs, because of the amount of characters there seem to be and the amount of different sides to the conflict there seem to actually be.
Yeah, okay, I can kind of see that.
Like, we don't see in fantasy shows, we don't see that style of conflict really. That's mostly reserved for sci-fi stuff, like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Gundam, that sort of jazz. And I love that sort of stuff, so this is probably up my alley in terms of just concept. Other than that, I know, I've heard, all I know is that the light novel series is apparently pretty good, so, it's probably end up being pretty good. It got picked up by Aniplex, so.
Yeah, nothing about this show really hooked me, so I'm gonna pass.
Alright. However,
This fucking show, though.
the next show
Who?
is Hakata Tenkotsu Ramens. This is a show that, while the trailer didn't impress me, I'm still holding out hope that because this concept is awesome.
Man, you and I are like such opposites sometimes because this fucking PV was rocking.
Okay, the PV didn't impress me only because I felt the animation was kind of stilted, and it didn't have any of those like shots that like wowed me, like wow, like I'm gonna watch this. Like it just kind of like moved by without any like any hype behind it. Although I do love the concept, and I do love the beginning of that trailer
Yes.
a lot.
The fucking, that fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack to this is
Ooh.
great. Oh, soundtrack to this is great. Studio
fucking-
Satelight's doing it, who worked on Fairy Tail, Hellsing Ultimate, Symphogear, among a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
They're big,
Yeah, because
big.
that fucking soundtrack, like, the track they lead on isn't even the opening track, but holy goddamn, like that fucking jazzy upbeat tune, that was fucking killer. Reminded me like something straight out of like Persona.
Yeah, this show does remind me a lot of Persona. The more I
And
look
then
at
the
it.
actual theme that kicked in afterwards, like, oh boy.
Yeah, that too. The guy who directed this, he I think it's she actually. She was the director of Macross Delta, which was kind of poo. Which was kind of poo, but it's at least she has experience working in action, which is important for a show like this. It's based on
One thing,
what?
just a couple things before you continue that I took away from this trailer. It's got a blistering pace.
Oh, it does.
Like, it constant cutting between shots. Like, it never slowed down throughout the whole thing. I can appreciate such a fast pace if it can keep that up. Like, if it's consistent through the whole show, then I won't consider it an issue, because I'm being primarily a huge shonen fan. I can really appreciate a fast pace if it's done well. So if it could do that right and it could be consistent, then I think that'll work towards it. However, going against that, I couldn't really get a grasp of what the show was from the trailer, because to me it seemed like it was just a bunch of disjointed scenes that were just like haphazardly cut together. Yeah. So
it's about
just based on the trailer alone, I couldn't really like get a glimpse of what the show is actually about. So that's kind of against it. But if the actual show itself doesn't have that kind of haphazard editing, I think it'll be fine.
It's about like professional killers and shit.
Yeah, okay. I had an idea, but I wasn't entirely sure based on how that PV was edited.
It's about like hitmen and shit. Yeah. But Funimation did pick it up, and I think it's going to be one of their first simul dubs of the season too. So.
Yeah, it is on their list. I did confirm that this morning. It is on their simul dub list.
Woo!
So.
All right. I'm excited.
That fucking soundtrack alone makes me hyped to watch the show, man.
Yeah.
But even then, I can just fucking download the OST, so fuck. Whatever.
Yeah. Next up, we have Hakume to Mikushi, which this one didn't hit me until I watched the trailer, and we'll get to that in a second. It's based on a manga, and the Studio Lurch is behind this, who did best known for doing the Danganronpa adaptation along with Assassination Classroom.
Okay.
It's being directed by the person who did Scum's Wish, which was one of my favorite shows of last year.
One of the most popular shows of last year.
Or most infamous shows if you're in some circles. Because that's another show that show pushed boundaries. But this show didn't catch my eye until I watched that trailer and I saw how fucking gorgeous this show looks.
That fucking trailer, man.
Holy shit. one of my favorite trailers of the season, honestly.
Yeah. I put an asterisk next to this one because I will most likely be watching this show.
Yeah. It looks gorgeous. This looks fucking gorgeous. I love like it looks like a fucking children's book, and to me that type of art style is always great, but it also puts me on edge because I'm like, is there some dark shit in this show that they're hiding?
Is this a Madoka Magica type ordeal? Because I'm not ready for another one of those.
It's classified as a seinen, which scares me.
I'm not ready for another one of those, Matt. I'm still reeling from Rebellion, man.
I'm still reeling from Made in Abyss, which was another one of that shit. And I don't know if it is. I don't think it is, from what I've researched. I don't think it is. Because it's based on a manga.
Unless it throws that fucking curveball.
Unless they throw a fucking curveball. I don't know. If you want to know the premise, it's literally about two cute girls who live in two girls who are like, they're like a couple inches tall, and they live in a tree. And they do stuff.
Yeah, they live in a fucking tree. They have a tree house.
No, it's not a tree, a house in a tree. It's literally a tree. And it looks cute. Cute as fuck.
It's fucking adorable.
And I love it.
I love the atmosphere. It's like extremely laid back adventure type ordeal where it's like, it's like the world isn't ending. We don't have to stop this big bad villain. We're just gonna go out and adventure and do some shit. And I love that.
We're gonna go out and I'm gonna find a tomato, and I'm like, that's what that is.
I'm gonna go out in the bush. I'm gonna find some berries and. Yeah,
it looks like one of those. Honestly, it's always great to have one of those shows because, like, they're just so relaxing and nice.
Animation was great. Character designs are fucking adorable. It really reminds me of some Ghibli type stuff.
Oh my god, it reminds me of Arrietty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love Ghibli. Yeah, I love Ghibli so much.
I really love the Ghibli aesthetic here. It really fit the tone that they were going for. Mm-hmm. And, just the whimsical fantasy setting that they showed off here, it was perfectly presented.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this I'm definitely this is definitely gonna be
gonna watch it.
Yeah,
like you put that shit on Crunchyroll, I'm gonna watch that shit.
It'll probably be on Crunchyroll. It got licensed by Sentai Filmworks, so won't see any physical release for a while. But it will be on Crunchyroll for sure, if that's the case.
Yeah.
All right. So
moving on.
Moving on is this one's an interesting one. This is a remake actually of a classic.
Did not know that.
Of a classic shonen named Soul Hunter, which is a Shonen Jump series that was back in the mid 90s to the early 2000s. That was quite popular when it was out, and it got an anime adaptation back in the mid 2000s. That was all right, but all right. I liked it. At least. But this is a complete remake of the original series. Now that the manga's been done for a while, they're gonna readapt it in its entirety. It is the debut. The guy directing it. This is his debut. He has worked as a direct. He's his debut as a director. He's worked on other stuff in the industry for quite a while. And this is also the first big project of new studio C Station. Honestly, I like the trailer for this a lot, to be honest. And I've watched the original Soul Hunter, so I'll probably end up watching this. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Well, I'd never heard about it before, and the first note I wrote down was fantasy samurai time, I guess.
Yeah, kinda.
I guess maybe. But yeah, this trailer is pretty great. Great animation, fucking stellar character designs, like fucking killer designs. Soundtrack was great. The action was great. The only thing that put me off about it was there was one like split second shot of like a CG alligator that looked really shitty, and I'm like,
Yeah, that was distracting.
Yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only negative I had. Everything else was great, and I really dug it.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'm probably gonna end up watching. I have seen the original Soul Hunter. It is worth watching. So
Hell, I might watch the original and then watch this later down the line, but we'll see what happens.
yeah, the original Soul Hunter. I think the original Soul Hunter. Now Soul Hunter is that one of those weird ones though. Is that Soul Hunter is in both this and the original Soul Hunter are not licensed and not even on Crunchyroll. So this is one of those more obscure shows that just never got over.
Great. It's one of those shows where you have to resort to piracy.
Yeah, we don't here at the G.A.P. we do not condone any form of piracy. Please watch all your anime legally.
Please watch all your anime legally on such wonderful legal services like Crunchyroll, Funimation Now. Hell, even Anime Strike. It's legal, I guess, but it's shit.
It's legal, I guess. Netflix.
Please, if you want to support creators in the anime industry, don't resort to piracy. We will not endorse any piracy sites, especially one that rhymes with Bliss Blanime.
Yes, it's not.
Don't do it.
We don't use it. Trust us.
I will not mention them by name because I don't agree with their tactics. Moving on.
Next up, we have another show that we have nothing to say about because we don't care. Hitori no Sita, the Outcast 2. It's
fuck if I know.
It's another one of those Chinese Japanese
oh great, it's another one of these. Hitori no Shita.
Yeah, Howliners Animation League is one of their 3 shows of the season. I didn't see the first season. The PV sucked, and it's a manga. It's a Chinese manhwa adaptation. So it's a Chinese manga adaptation, and the staff in the first season returned. Look, man, I don't care.
Yeah, I really got nothing to say about this.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's going on here. No idea what the overarching story is, if there even is one. The only real thing I could take away from this is it has pretty decent animation and character designs. That's pretty much it. The only other thing I took away from this is quote in my notes: crazy anime bullshit like dude turning into lightning.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was.
I'm like, wow, this is some crazy anime bullshit.
Yeah. Because that's complete.
Which makes me think, because I'm a fan of crazy anime bullshit, so would I enjoy this? I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly, the PV kind of looked like shit to me. So
yeah, there's really nothing to go off here. Nothing really hooked me. Pass.
Yeah, pass. So next up is
moving on. Speaking of pass,
Hugato Precure. It's a Precure series.
The fuck is this?
It's a Precure series. I know what Precure is. This is the 15th Precure series.
That's the thing. Like, I've heard of Precure before, and I'm like, okay, what is this? And then I read the 15th installment in the Precure series, and I'm like, ha!
Think Precure's the Gundam of magical girl shows. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's basically all I could take from this. I'm like, literally in my notes, I wrote down, the fuck is this fucking Sailor Moon Riprian bullshit? The fuck is this?
There's no PV for it. There's no news on staff. Okay, I could not find shit about this.
No.
I could not find anything.
No.
All we know is that it's Toei, as usual, doing Precure.
Yeah, one of if not the only Toei series this season.
Because they're too busy working on Super and One Piece. That's what it is.
Yeah, they really don't have any time to work on any other series.
Yeah, pretty much. But Precure,
except for when they managed to do fucking Tiger Mask.
Oh yeah, I remember that
for that one season.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Precure. Precure has its fans, and I'm pretty sure they're excited.
Yeah.
I have never seen Precure.
Nope. Never.
I just put in my notes, the lack of PV is disturbing.
Literally, I put in my notes was Sailor Moon Riprian bullshit.
Like, okay, I've always said to myself, one day I'll actually sit down and watch a Precure series just to see what the hype is about, and I never do. Like, it's just one of those, like, things I put off because I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not watching this, needless to say.
I'm not watching this because I don't care. So, next...
Fuck it!
Speaking of stuff I don't care about,
yeah.
next up is Idolish 7, which is apparently based on a manga.
It's a fucking idol show.
Another
Moving
one.
on.
It looks better than the other one, though. I'll give it that.
Yeah, true. I will give it that. I have more to talk about.
One, actually. The animation here was actually really good. I really like the animation in this one.
Yeah, it's got a great art style. I really dug the art style here.
Yeah, great I loved the art style. Great animation. Now the studio doing it, Studio Troika, who made a name for them, they did Recreators last year, which was really good.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that was their first show, by the way, was Recreators.
Oh my! You got big shoes to fill there, boys.
Yeah, big shoes. And the director's worked on a bunch of shows, but they're all smaller stuff. Like, they're all, like, really small projects. So, honestly, I'm not the demographic for this, so I didn't really care, but it looks far better than the other Idol show this season.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I dug the art style. I liked the focus on a male idol group, which, no, I don't watch idol shows, so I don't fucking know, but like the stereotypical idol show is just like a group of cute girls.
But now it's a bunch of cute boys.
Yeah, so I like the fact that, I like it when idol shows, focus on a male group instead. It makes it kind of stand out from all the other generic idol shows. Yeah. And the last note I wrote down was, yes, queen, yes!
Yes!
Slay, queen!
Yeah.
That's all I got.
It will make this show, if we do end up watching, it's gonna make our inner gay come out, and it's gonna be great.
And we're already gay.
Extremely gay. Okay. Yeah, this show's also unlicensed. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But since it's it's probably gonna get picked up by Crunchyroll because they seem to pick up all those. So.
Yeah. Crunchyroll seems to be plagued with a plethora of idol shows.
Trust us, we know.
Oh yeah, we definitely know.
Well, we know. Extremely.
Oh, we know.
Next up.
Okay, moving on.
Next up is a show I'm actually that I'm really excited for. I don't know about you, but I'm actually really excited for this. It's the Junji Ito collection, which is a anthology series based on the famed horror manga artist, which is named Junji Ito, who did he's done a bunch of stuff. He did Uzumaki, he did Goro, he did a bunch of other, like, his stuff is well known for being fucked up, weird, and extremely disturbing. And the trailer is fucked up, weird, and extremely disturbing.
Yeah, it is.
There's only a couple stuff that has me worried. I just have in my notes. Yes, the inconsistent Studio Dean has returned once again, and that is Studio Dean is doing it, who are infamously inconsistent. But they did Higurashi, which is one of the best horror shows of all time. So if they know how to do anything, it's horror. But the director of it did Diabolic Lovers, which sucks. Like, actually, like, one of the worst shows I've seen, anime shows I've seen in a long time.
Matt, is it as bad for you as Guilty Crown?
It might be worse, actually.
Oh, that's a lot coming from you then.
It's pretty bad.
Because you fucking hate Guilty Crown.
I hate Guilty Crown, man. Guilty Crown's awful. But I'm only excited for Junji Ito collection because I love Junji Ito's work.
Yeah, it seems really interesting. Yeah. Me knowing nothing about Junji Ito before this, it really stood out as one of the most unique shows this season. Mm-hmm. Like, especially since it's an adaptation of an anthology. Like, we don't see many of those at all in anime.
Plus, they're not going to reveal which stories they're adapting until the next episode.
Yeah.
So they're keeping the tension there.
Yeah, so kudos to them for adapting like a short story style. Really unique, really creative.
And maybe this will give way to actual anime adaptations of more of his work. Because honestly, outside of like Guro, I think he doesn't have any. His most famous with Uzumaki does not have an anime adaptation. It has many movie adaptations, but no anime adaptation.
Yeah. The fucking horror in this PV, spot on. Very weird, very unsettling.
This spooked me.
And, yeah, it made me like physically uncomfortable to watch it.
The entire show is like this, and I actually can't wait. To be honest,
I can't really comment on the animation because there's very limited animation in this, but the art style
they're hiding it on purpose. I'm pretty sure they're doing that on purpose to keep the the surprise in, because they don't want to. The thing about Junji Ito is that a lot of his horror comes from how unexpected it is. So they're holding stuff back in order to actually spook people.
Yeah. The art style, though, fucking A+ shit there.
It's basic. It's Junji Ito style completely. Yeah, I'm definitely watching this one this season because I just love his work so much.
Yeah.
So, moving on. We have probably Shane's
we're here! We're already here!
Arguably most anticipated show of the season.
One of them!
Junzo no Tagaki-san.
This was one, okay, so when I was writing my notes, I marked shows that I want to watch with an asterisk. The shows that I would definitely watch, my most anticipated, I marked with a triple asterisk. The only other shows besides this that got one was Darling, and a show that we'll be talking about near the end. But this, after watching this PV, I was fucking sold hard on this fucking show. It's so goddamn precious. This is the cutest goddamn show I have seen in a long time. So much so that I'm pretty sure I have diabetes now from just looking at it. It's so sweet I got diabetes. Okay, before I fucking fanboy all over this, just give us some context.
Alright, so this is a show based on a manga. This is the first big project of the director. The director who worked on this. This is his first big project. He's had a couple smaller projects, but this is his first full-length TV show. Karakai Juzo no Takagi-san. This is also Shin-Ai Animation, who did a bunch of smaller work, but the best known for Kaito Joker and all of that stuff. I didn't think much of this initially when I read the premise. I'm like, okay, that sounds really cute. After watching the PV, this looks great. The animation is great. Animation's great. The character design is stellar. I love. There was no subtitles and it was in Japanese, and I still found it funny. Which should tell you a lot about the quality of the writing if it's that good.
Like when conveyance is done properly, it can really resonate.
Yeah. Plus,
and I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this PV like really nailed conveyance.
Yeah. Plus it looks so goddamn cute. It's literally the cutest fucking thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, like, oh my god. Honestly, I have it also here. I have a feeling this is going to be the sleeper hit of the season.
Yes, without a fucking doubt.
This is going to be one of the big sleeper hits of the season. And mainly because the premise itself lends itself to so many comedic possibilities, and I love it. Yeah, that's one thing I really, really loved about this, is that the premise itself is not only a great premise, but it sets itself up for tons of different unique and creative situations. Yeah.
Like, there's like endless possibilities here. They could do basically anything.
Yeah. I'm excited. Like, honestly, I'm fucking hyped for this. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, I'm fucking like this came out of nowhere and quickly became one of my most anticipated shows of the season, just based off the PV alone.
Yeah.
Because that's how you do a fucking trailer, man. That's how you do a fucking trailer right.
How you do a fucking trailer.
Like it immediately resonates emotionally. It's got fantastic animation. The character designs are fucking stellar, as you said. It really enforces their personalities through their designs, which I always appreciate.
What I love too is that they're supposed to be middle schoolers, and it's an anime where they actually look like middle schoolers.
Yeah, they actually look like they're fucking like 10.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
they're 11. I think they're 11 or 12-ish. I think they're on the older side of middle school, but they definitely look. They look like they're in middle school, and it's rare we get that type of show.
Yeah, it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, you're supposed to be in high school, eh, Jotaro? Yeah, okay.
You're supposed to be 16. Oh,
sure.
Sure, you're 16 and you look like you're 31.
Sure, you're 16 with your chiseled jaw and massive pecs. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, Takagi-san.
But though this show,
it's been licensed by Funimation.
They're simuldubbing it. I'm almost positive the Crunchyroll is gonna simulcast it. I'm fucking ready. This show is so fucking cute, and I really appreciate that it goes out of its way to make it just an innocent and endearing show. Like, there's so many fucking anime that just go over the top and make it dark and gory and just like really like horrible atmosphere where there's like no hope or like light to be found, and then fucking Takagi-san comes out of nowhere with like a really cute premise and an innocent presentation. It's just so goddamn pure and whimsical, and it really captures that essence of just a couple awkward ass kids in middle school trying to like figure out their feelings and, you know, how they can convey that to one another. And I dug it.
Ugh.
Like, it hooked me immediately.
I agree 100%. I'm going to be watching this day one, day in, day out. Like, this is going to...
Like, one of the notes I wrote is the characters are cute as balls.
They are. They're so cute. Plus
it's fucking adorable.
It feels like a legitimate, like it's a romance show, but it feels like there's legitimate chemistry there. That's so fucking rare.
Yeah.
You rarely see that.
Like genuine character chemistry.
Yeah.
Between a couple of middle schoolers, and if they can really nail, which from the PV I have no doubt in my mind that they will, but if they can really nail just the essence of that awkward middle school stage where you don't really know how to feel about stuff, especially when it comes to like people of the opposite sex, if they can really nail that feeling down, hands down, fucking maybe even more so than Darling, show of the season.
Yeah. Even if it's not
like
if it's not for another show that we're gonna get to in a second.
Yeah, but this show really has the potential to be just a fucking hit.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm fucking excited. Okay, moving on from that, we have another show that actually I'm kind of excited for, and that's Killing Bites.
I put an asterisk next to it, so fucking I might actually watch it.
Manga, it's the debut of a specific director, but he's previously worked on God knows how many episodes of Bleach. He was with Bleach since the beginning. And I think he was the main animator on 3 of the movies, and he also worked as the main storyboard artist for Drifters, which, by the way, this reminds me a lot of Drifters too. So that actually bodes well.
Yeah, now that you bring it up, I can see like heavy Drifter influence there.
The Linden Films is the people behind it. They're best known for doing Terraform Mars and the Heroic Legend of Arslan. Both great, both pretty damn fun shows. Arslan more so than Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what this is about because the PV and the synopsis don't do it justice, but it looks like a ton of fun. It looks ridiculous, and that's probably the best way to describe it, is just ridiculous action. And honestly, sometimes we just need that. We just need stupidity.
Yeah. Like, this looks like the kind of stupid anime bullshit that I would fucking eat up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it looks like Drifters. Drifters is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy Drifters.
It also somewhat reminded me of Juni Taisen.
Oh yeah, even though that kind of shat the bed into the end, I felt.
Yeah. It just based on style and premise, it reminds me a lot of Juni Taisen, and also Drifters. Now that you mention it,
I mean, the only difference is that this is about...
What the fuck is this show?
What the fuck is this show? It's about animal-human hybrids, apparently, and like...
Yeah, it's like about, from what I could gather, it's about like genetically created human-animal hybrids. So I guess chimeras.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's literally the chimeras from Fullmetal Alchemist if they got their own spin-off show. Which, now that I think about it, I kind of want to see that, like, actually. But,
And I guess there's like themes of, like, political upheaval, because there's, like, people within the government making these human-animal hybrids to, like, pit against one another in, like, a battle royal type ordeal. Like, what?
Exactly. Honestly, it looks stupid, but it sounds fun. So...
Yeah.
So,
but the best thing it has going for it is its animation and its character designs, which are both fucking fantastic.
Yeah, which are both fantastic. And honestly, if it's going to be like an action show like that, like just a dumb action show, that's all it really needs, I feel.
Yeah. All it really needs is good animation and some cool-looking characters doing some crazy bullshit, and I will fucking watch it.
Unfortunately, it's been licensed by Amazon, so... all the good shit's been licensed by Amazon, it seems.
Amazon, can you kindly fuck off? You already took Recreators, you took Made in Abyss. Can you kindly just piss off?
You took my two favorite shows last season. That's what they did last year. But
didn't they also? I might be wrong about this, but didn't they also take Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress?
No, that's Crunchyroll.
Okay, good.
Wait, no, did they? Yeah, no, actually, no.
I don't know.
I think they did, actually.
Yeah, so what the fuck? What the
they
fuck?
Took it, but the dub is done by Crunchyroll, so it's on Crunchyroll anyways.
Yeah. So why the fuck, Amazon, are you taking all the promising shit?
Cabaneri wasn't good anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Cabaneri wasn't good anyways.
Like, Amazon, I don't want to pay for fucking Prime Video just to watch this shit, and I don't want to pirate it, so you basically fucked me, Amazon. You basically fucked me. You basically fucked me, Amazon.
Speaking of Wit Studio, who did Kaminari, they have a new show coming out, and that's the next on our list, and that is Love Like After the Rain, which is the honestly, I didn't think too much until I saw the PV, and it looks kind of gorgeous.
Yep.
Even if the story itself, when I actually read up on it, has a questionable.
Yeah, it's very questionable.
Unless they're going
it's extremely questionable.
Unless they're going the direction I think they're going.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's super questionable premise, like, really bordering on, like, what's okay in terms of, like, social context.
It's very this is definitely something that could only be made in Japan.
Yep.
This is actually Wit Studios. This is Wit Studios' main show this season. But they're also working on Ancient Maga's Bride again this season. I hope that show doesn't suffer.
Yeah, which is continuing from last season.
I hope Ancient Maga's doesn't suffer for this.
I don't think it will, based on the track record we got right now. So
teams, I think.
Oh fuck! Oh boy!
There's two separate teams working on them. The director of this worked on several of the Doraemon movies, as well as Ace Attorney.
Oh no!
Yeah. But to be fair, this is a
Oh,
very different style of show. I'll give her.
I get that, but still, Ace Attorney. Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, though, it's that PV that really did it for me. I was skeptical
Yeah,
as
that
hell.
PV was fucking phenomenal.
Even if it's Witch Studio, who basically put out nothing but gold except for Cavanari. I hope they do good. I hope this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the somber tone that really came through in the PV.
Which actually saved the premise for me, to be honest. That actually saved the premise. Because I think I know what direction they're going with it.
Extremely.
Because I think...
Yeah. It's like extremely somber tone. Loved it. Loved the atmosphere. Magnificent soundtrack. That fucking score.
Oh my god, yeah, the score is amazing. Honestly, after watching that PV, the story's questionable attributes went away, because I actually think I kind of know what direction they're going, and if they go the direction I think they're going, this might be a fucking depressing as ass show, and I kind of want one of those, because we haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah, there's a lot more deeper thematic elements here than what's initially presented. So you really have to dig deep to, like, really get the true qualities of this show. I feel like it's going to be one of those.
Yeah. Which means that, if possible, this could be just one of the best shows of the year already, I think.
And also, I really enjoyed the social commentaries on display here. Not only of, like, the more questionable stuff, like the teenage adult romances, that, that's iffy. If they do it right, it can be really good. But I also like the social commentary on the disabled, because the main character does go through an accident that makes her disabled, and thus she can't perform basically her dream. She can't do what she wanted to do with her life anymore. And I really dug that aspect. And if they can really, like, dig deeper into, like, that social commentary on, the disabled, and how after, you get through these horrible accidents that make you disabled, how society views you, I feel like it could be, like, something truly amazing.
We just gotta get past that really questionable aspect of the story first. Which is the one thing holding me back. It's the one...
We just gotta get past the fact that a 15-year-old's going after, like, a 40-plus-year-old, and that's weird.
Obviously, she must just be into older men, which is okay, but...
It's really fucking weird.
If she was 18, I would have less problem with it, to be honest.
But no, she's, like, 15, 16.
And that's weird.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
that's the only real thing against the show. But if they can take it in a direction that works, then I'm not worried.
Next up, we have Kokoku, which is based on a manga that's been completed for like 5 years. So it's going to be a complete adaptation.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know what it is, but
what the fuck is this show?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of awesome.
It looks kind of lit, not gonna lie.
It does. It looks spooky. I don't know what this is, because the trailer was edited to shit.
The fucking trailer, I could take nothing away from that fucking trailer. Like, I literally had to go out of my way to look up, like, a plot synopsis to figure out what the fuck was going on, and even then, going back to cross-reference with the PV, I'm like, really? That's what this is about?
Yeah, I was like, huh. But it looks awesome, though, just the way, like, everything plays out. It looks kind of awesome. And it's directed by the guy who did Witchblade, so...
So,
Yeah. But he also did Amnesia, which was, it's a new studio, Geno Studio. But the manga's been done for a while, so it's a completed manga, so...
Yeah, and to their credit, it had pretty good animation.
Oh, the animation was quite good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like Killing Bites and Love is Like the Rain, it's been picked up by Amazon. So
Okay, that basically kills any interest I had in this series.
Yeah, it did. I'm still gonna. You know what? If I hear it's good, I'll probably still watch it.
Yeah, because it has a really intriguing concept that involves like time manipulation, which is really super unique.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like fucking they're like starting and stopping time, and they're fucking like going crazy with it. And I'm like,
to involve like ritual sacrifices too. And I'm like,
yeah, it's surprisingly dark.
Yeah, you know what? It looks cool. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it looks cool, and I might watch it just to see what the fuck's going on here.
Speaking of stuff that does not look cool, we have another one of those fucking Japanese Chinese animated shows. Link Q.
Yeah, I've literally got nothing here, dude.
It's the third show from that animation league. I can't find shit about this. I looked it up on Google and I could not find it. I could not find it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So
nothing at all. Moving on.
No idea. The next show is called How to Keep a Mummy. It's about a guy. He gets a little mummy in the mail, and he goes on an adventure.
What the fuck is this show? The fuck is this show? Because I'm like
package and it's just like a mummy.
There's a fucking little chibi mummy in there, and it's like, what?
And he's like, oh, what is this? And then the mummy's like, I do little things. And he's like,
it's like literally, I could take nothing away from like just the premise, because like how and also why.
And then the preview didn't do anything because it's just like, oh, so it's generic slice of life with a mummy.
like literally, it's like its Japanese name is Mira no Kaikata, and like I can't take anything from that because I don't fucking know Japanese. But then I fucking read the English title. It's like How to Keep a Mummy, and I'm like, what? And then I watched the PV, and he opens the package, and there's just a fucking mummy jumps out. I'm like, oh, huh? Oh, I'm crying a little bit.
Fucking thing, like he opens. No, I love how it's generic slice of life bullshit. With a mummy!
Super generic. There's nothing interesting or unique that makes this stand out other than the fucking mummy.
And the mummy's not even like a cool looking mummy. It's just a fucking blob.
It's like if it wasn't for the mummy, there would be nothing to talk about with this fucking show. Because it would be just standard, generic slice of like bullcrap.
But no, maybe that's the plot twist. Maybe that's how they want us to talk about it and watch this show. They know what they're making is generic, so they put a fucking mummy in it.
Put a fucking mummy in. Because, like, the animation, nothing to write home about. Character designs, not really that interesting. Animal designs, super fucking adorable, especially the mummy. But like, if it wasn't for the mummy...
That's
like,
the plot twist. The mummy is actually an animal in disguise.
The mummy is secretly, like, a dog or something.
This is actually... What is this show? Why is this...
I don't know, man.
Why is this airing? I don't know. It's
literally, if it wasn't for the fucking mummy, there would be nothing here.
It's being done by Studio 8-Bit, who did Tokyo Ravens and Rewrite. And it's currently unlicensed. I wonder why.
Gee, I have no idea.
Alright. Next, speaking of slice of life, next up is Mitsubishi Colors, which is the most moe blob show of the season.
I don't fucking know, man. I got nothing to say about this. I got jack shit.
It's the debut. The director of this is his debut. This is his first anime he's ever worked on. He's never worked on any other show. This is his debut as a director as well.
off to a good start
it
then.
is Silverlink's second show of the season. Silverlink's also doing Death March.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think this does look better than Death March. Plus, it's a Moe Blob show, which I kind of enjoy. It looks really cute. But outside of that, it's like, it just looks like generic Moe Blob cuteness.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's like the most generic, stereotypical cute girls doing cute things show.
And they are cute.
Like, they're probably underage, so
they definitely look underage, which is a problem.
Yeah, but like honestly, that's the thing. Like, I got nothing to say about this show, mainly because I was getting to the point in my research where I was going like 2+ hours deep into this. I was getting burnt out real quick, so I literally wrote in my notes, might have been more interesting had I not been burnt out from seeing several other cute shows in this research session.
And this one doesn't look nearly as interesting as the other cute shows in the seasons.
No, honestly, there's like nothing really to go off here. It just looks like generic fodder.
It's been licensed by Sentai Filmworks, by the way. Next.
Yeah, moving on.
Next up, I have some things to say about this show, but it's more about the director of it than anything else. March on Madchen. Look, based on the light novel series, generic ecchi is generic.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting about it is not what it is, but who's working on it. Hood's Entertainment is doing it, who are, best known for doing ecchi like this. So at least get the best of the best to do ecchi, get what they know. But they also did Drifters. That was recently. That was their previous show.
Oh!
Drifters. That was their first non-ecchi. So they have proved in the past that they can. So they proved with Drifters that they can actually do non-ecchi shows and do them quite well. So I'm not sure exactly why they're going back to ecchi. But what really, really interests me is the director. The director of this is the same director as Rin, Daughters of Minosame. If you know what Rin is, you know that Rin is is pretty great show, but really dark and really violent. And the type of show that uses sex in a way that's disturbing.
Okay.
So my question is,
all right.
Why is the director of Rin on this?
Fuck if I know, dude.
This looks, outside of that, this looks generic as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some notes. The feeling when your anime trailer opens on a naked girl.
It did. When I open on a naked girl, I'm like, I know exactly what type of show this is.
The feeling when your anime trailer opens on a possibly underage naked girl.
And I'm like, I know exactly what type of show this is.
And then there's a fucking shot of a character that, no joke, looks exactly like Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Oh my god, yes.
I literally wrote down Yoko ripoff looking motherfucker here. Like, honestly, the trailer gave me nothing to go off of. I looked up the premise, and it seemed pretty interesting once I looked it up. But man, I can't imagine where I've seen another show about a bunch of girls studying magic in a magic school. I can't even think Little Witch Academia. I can't even think of one that's even remotely similar.
And I can't believe that this one this is Little Witch Academia with ecchi.
Literally, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's literally just Little Witch Academia with ecchi stuff in it.
Moving on.
Moving on, because Little Witch Academia is amazing.
Speaking of Little Witch Academia and Netflix-owned titles.
Oh, a Netflix exclusive show, you say? Tell me more.
We have the Seven Deadly Sins Revival of the Commandments, aka Season 2 of Seven Deadly Sins. which I would argue is the most anticipated show of the season. That's not another show that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I think arguably
it's either
the most anticipated show of the season.
Yeah, it's either the most or one of. I'm going to guess the most, just because it's 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, and that first 7 Deadly Sins was surpassed House of Cards on Netflix in terms of popularity. So that should tell you a lot about how popular it is.
I got nothing to say, man. This looks fucking awesome.
Awesome. It does. It looks great. Fucking A1 Pictures is returning. We have a new director, but he worked on Saint Seiya, so, you know, we good. Honestly, Season 1's fantastic. The manga's excellent. If they follow the manga, this will be excellent as well. There's no way, honestly, I can't see any situation where this sucks. I can't see any situation where this is not good.
Yeah, I got nothing to say, dude. This looks fucking rad, and I'm gonna watch it.
I didn't even need to watch the PV. I was just like,
No. As soon as I saw 7 Deadly Sins, I'm like, okay, moving on. Yeah. We don't need to talk about this.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
Speaking of second seasons,
this is a second season I've been waiting
perfect
for.
segue there.
This is we have Overlord 2, which is also one of the most hotly anticipated shows of the season. Because it's a sequel to one of what is arguably what many people consider maybe even one of the best, if not the best, isekai show in the history of anime, Overlord. Same director and staff. Madhouse returns in a rare second season. They almost never do second seasons, and this is probably one of the first they've ever done.
Yeah, because they're not returning to do One Punch Season 2,
yeah,
so
they're not. But they're doing Overlord Season 2. Now the trailer did look a little. The animation in the trailer, as you had noted after you watched it, was not spectacular, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad either, and also the first season was animated really well. So I still have faith.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that I could take away coming off from this is that for Madhouse. Mm-hmm. One of, if not the best animation studios in the entirety of the anime industry. The animation here is very, very scarce.
Yeah.
Like, super limited, extremely stiff, not that interesting. And the only thing I could think of is, okay, it's trailer, so they're probably saving all of their, like, stellar animation for the actual show when it airs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't really leave much of an impact for me because the animation in the trailer was so scarce, especially coming from Madhouse. That was kind of disappointing.
Overlord as well. You have not seen the first season.
No, I have not seen Season 1. So I can't really say anything there, but just based on what I've seen from Season 2, I'm not that impressed. Even though I really dug the character designs and the lead-in into this was like really interesting.
Yeah. And plus the first season of Overlord is basically universally beloved, so that should tell you a lot of
one of our friends just like any chance he gets he will not shut up about it.
It's really good. Funimation did license the first season, and they confirmed a while ago that they picked up the second too. So pretty much it's just the return. So honestly, Overlord 2, I'm excited. Speaking of stuff that I honestly don't know what the fuck it is, Pop Team Epic.
Oh, this one.
What the hell is this? Because I could not find shit on it.
I got nothing. Literally nothing.
All I could find is that
apparently
all I could find is that the new studio doing the Kamikaze Doga, they're also doing the Batman Ninja movie. So,
oh boy,
which that looks good.
Yeah, that looks fucking
that's not
great,
coming out
actually.
this season. I don't know when that's coming out.
No, it's not. The only thing I could take away from this, because there's no synopsis, no trailer, nothing. There's somewhat of a description there. Apparently, it's based on a 4-panel manga series, which what
4-panel manga series, like similar to like Azumanga Daioh and stuff like that. we've had some good shows based on that before, so this is not the first time we've.
The thing that gets me about that is that this is apparently going to have 12 episodes.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Azumanga Daioh got like 26, and I love it. So who knows? Honestly, I have nothing to say about it because we couldn't find anything on it. So
I got nothing, dude. So, but this next show, I have a lot to say about.
Okay. This is Ramen Daisuke Koizumi-san, or as English title, Miss Koizumi loves ramen noodles. And it's exactly what the title says. It's about a girl who loves ramen.
Yeah.
I love the description. This is my favorite description of the season. The gourmet comedy follows the daily life of Koizumi, a high school girl who looks like a cool booty at a first glance, but actually has an unexpected side that loves ramen. Like, how is that unexpected?
Like, as soon as I saw, like, the premise, I'm like, okay, cute girl likes ramen, yeah, whatever. And then I watched the trailer, and I'm like, this is low-key Food Wars without all the fan service.
This is the best anime of the season. No, it's not.
This is low-key my most anticipated anime of the season.
For maybe the
And I was like, you and I actually talked about this yesterday, before we recorded this podcast, and I was like, dude, the fucking ramen show, man, I'm digging it, I'm really hyped, and then you came back to me and were like, yeah, apparently the first episode reviews are out, and it's garbage.
Yeah, the studio.
Because this is one of the few shows as of this recording that's actually started airing.
Yeah, it's actually started airing, and the first studio and episodes and reviews are in, and it's not that great apparently. Although I did read a couple of like the other reviews, and there are a couple people who really like it, so it definitely seems to be more divided than anything.
Like this, I don't know what it was about this fucking show that, like, hooked me. I don't get it, but it really did, because it's fucking cute. The character designs are exceptional, like, really great designs. It's a really simple concept that, if they can execute it right, can lead to something, like, really fantastic. I really have faith in this show. Yeah. Like I said, it really reminds me of Food Wars, minus all of the over-the-top aspects of Food Wars. It's like a more pure Food Wars, which, hey,
the studio that did
Food
this
Wars
has worked on a bunch of other stuff before. Have worked on some pretty big stuff. They worked on Kiri no Mosaic, Oda Nobuna no Yabo, which was also really good. Surusei Children from last year, which was really good. But they're probably best known for Yuki Yuna as a hero, which is a show that I still need to watch, but I've heard very good things about. Basically, it's if you've never heard of it, it's basically another dark magical girl series in the vein of Madoka Magica.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, but apparently it's quite excellent. It's not like a ripoff. It's like actually like its own thing. So, which help.
Yeah, the last note I have about this show is a show about cute girls and ramen where cute girls prepare and eat ramen. Sign me the fuck up.
I too am a college student, so I too relate to this on a spiritual level.
I too can relate to being forced to eat nothing but ramen. It's fucking delicious.
Even though it's probably really bad for you.
It's gonna kill me before I'm 30, but...
Alright, moving on. Our next series is Ryo no Oshigoto, or English title, the Ryo's work is never done.
Ryo no Oshigoto! It has the exclamation point, so you gotta express it like that.
Which is literally about about shogi. It's basically about shogi. I know jack shit about shogi. All I know is that it was in one episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's it.
Oh boy.
And the director of this series hasn't done that much, and the studio, which is Project Number 9, has worked on not much either. So this is a show that hasn't really that hasn't really done much.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
I
The show looks,
yeah, I got really.
the show looks
Yeah, like on literally the only the trailer that was linked on the website, the only trailer that I watch, it gives me nothing to go off of other than character designs. And I mean, I guess a couple of them look pretty cool, but other than that, I got nothing.
Yeah. My only issue is that my only issue is that there's a nagging feeling in the back of my mind. I don't know why. That I was like, is this going to be one of these lolly fetish shows?
Who knows?
And if it's that, then no.
Hell no.
Let's get
Nuh-uh.
no. And with that, we move on to.
And with that, we move on to The Disastrous Life of Psyche K Season 2.
It's Disastrous Life of Psyche K Season 2. What is there more to say about it other than it's going to be...
Yeah, literally the only note I wrote on was no trailer, but Season 2 of Psyche K is pretty obvious what it will be.
Yeah, if you like the first season of Psyche K, which I did...
Which my son loves this show.
He doesn't actually have a son, by the way, but...
No, I do, Matt. I birthed my own child, and he loves Psyche K.
Alright. No, but he...
that's it.
My son births Psyche K.
My son loves this show.
No, but yeah, Psyche
yeah, okay,
K,
moving on.
Yeah, it's the Psyche K. JC Staff is back. Funimation has it licensed. Let's go.
Pretty sure it's on their simuldub list too, so...
next up, we have Shamio Danchi.
Or its English title, Sanrio Boys.
Sanrio Boys. Okay. Okay. The first thing I noticed about this show was that the premise is fucking stupid. The premise about this show is really stupid. Which is literally like...
I mean, yeah.
It's like this one boy loves yellow pom-pom Purin dog. But then he ends up saying the same school as another guy who loves a cute bunny, and then it's like, oh, you shouldn't be ashamed to like cute things because you're a boy. It's okay to like cute things even though you're a boy. But then now they must learn to accept that they love cute things, and I'm like, what is this?
Like, okay, I got some shit to say about this show. I was a lot less hard on the premise than you are, because yes, it is stupid, but I actually kind of dug it. The premise, after reading it seems pretty interesting. To me, it seems like it's providing commentary on expressing oneself and overcoming judgment and adversity, so you can truly be the person that you want to be. And if that's the direction they're going with, then hey, kudos to them. Because you be who you want to be, you like the shit that you want to like, don't let people bring you down. I'm all for that. However, the trailer was super generic.
The trailer was generic. Honestly, I kind of hope I kind of hope this looked more like garbage in order to make it more interesting.
Like, probably out of all the shows that we're talking about for this upcoming season, this was the most generic, uninteresting thing I've seen in this entire group.
Yeah, it doesn't help that
really.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't help that it's directed by Studio Period, which does adds to the...
Oh yeah, I noticed that too, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh god, Black Clover.
Yeah, who will continue to
Christ.
continue to screw up Black Clover this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They will.
Black Clover will continue to be the Black Clover will continue to be the black horse of the anime season throughout most of this year, actually, because there's still like 40 something episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna keep going. The director of this worked on Chain Chronicle. He was the director of Chain Chronicle and a bunch of other shows. He's basically been with Period for a while. He was the chief animation director for the 4th Bleach movie too.
Basically, the only thing I got here is that if the execution of the premise is what I think it might be, then I think it could be an interesting show. And literally every other character besides the lead has a much more interesting and expressive character design.
Yeah.
Because they show the lead right away, and he's like most generic Japanese dude possible in anime, and then they show the supporting cast, and literally every other character but him has a cool, unique, fleshed out design that makes them all stand out.
Because I hate it when animes do that. I hate it so much. They make a bland-ass protagonist, but then they fill it with such varied and interesting supporting side characters. But then you're stuck with a lead that's boring as sin. And it's annoying.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know about you, but I would rather have the most diverse and interesting cast possible, including the lead, than having all the uniqueness and diversity be relegated to the secondary cast and have the lead be a soggy slice of white bread.
Yeah, which is what it said. So in the end, this is a disappointment on every level. I'm skipping it this season. Skipping it.
Yeah, I'm skipping it too.
I'm skipping it. Speaking of stuff that airs in 3 hours, apparently, as of recording this, we have OLM's new series, which is Shinkanshin Henkai Robo Syncalion, which is that kids mecha show.
We're on to this show now.
As you described after you watched it, this could have aired in the 4Kids days, and it would have worked immensely.
Yep.
Honestly, this looks really dumb, but at the same time, kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, this because I talked to you about this yesterday too. This looks like the kind of dumb anime bullshit that I would just eat up.
Yeah.
And like, based on like based on the art style and just like the overall premise of the show and how it's being portrayed, it looks like it belongs perfectly in the 4Kids era, like early 2000s Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, all that bullshit.
Yeah, and I would have honestly, if this was on as a kid, I would have watched the shit out of this.
Also, my last note is because I read the premise afterwards, and I'm like, this basically encapsulates the 4Kids era. Trains transforming into giant fucking mechs to fight a bee god.
Exactly.
Equals yes. Sign me the fuck up.
Yes, sign me the fuck up. I love it. Fucking, it's OLM who we're best known for. They do Pokemon, so they're doing this. So
yeah, this is gonna be stupid anime bullshit, and I'm gonna love it
too. I think that I should let you guys know that they did Berserk.
Wait, you mean the new, not good one?
Old Berserk, like classic Berserk.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank Christ.
Classic Berserk.
You gotta fucking. You gotta tell me, man.
I just thought it was funny because they do all of Pokemon. They've done Pokemon since the beginning, and they still work on it.
Since Indigo League.
They've done it, and they're still doing it. But they also did Berserk, which I find funny. The director of this, by the way, is the same guy who worked on Show by Rock. And that's what and he directed that, so.
Okay.
So, next up, we have A1 Pictures' final show of the season, Slow Start. This is, cute girls doing cute things. Another one of them.
Yeah, cute girls doing cute things. The anime. Number 3.
Albeit really well animated.
Yeah, true. Like, there's some really cute designs in this show. I really dug them. It's got an innocent enough premise that could lead to some really emotional and engaging character moments later on. Depends on, the direction that they take and how that is executed. But of course, in this show about cute schoolgirls doing cute things, there has to be that one fucking character with massive tits for no goddamn reason.
That's always annoying to me.
And I sit there watching the PV, and I'm like, okay, this seems innocent enough. Seems like a pretty interesting premise. Cute girls doing cute things. In the back of my mind, I'm like, where's the girl with the tits? She's gotta be here somewhere. And then out of nowhere, she's like, oh, kick you! And then fucking tits. And I'm like, way to go. Way to fucking go.
The director of this has worked on a bunch of smaller stuff. Hasn't really worked on much. I do find it funny though that the premise itself is the premise itself is kind of bare bones. It seems like an excuse just to have a slice of life show in a fucking high school, to be honest.
And you just gotta have that one girl with the massive tits.
I love how you're still stuck
because
up
you
on
gotta.
that.
Because you gotta. You just gotta, right? Anime. That's anime, isn't it?
Because, all girls have tits that size, am I right?
I can't have faith in fucking anime when they just throw tits in a show that doesn't need them.
This is a slice of life show. You don't need tits. Anyways, moving on.
That basically turned me off of this entire show. I might have actually been interested in it had the girl with the tits not shown up.
Yeah. Moving on, we have another show of cute girls doing cute things, and that's
Sora Yori mo Toi Basho.
Yeah, or a place further.
I think I got that right.
In the universe. Honestly, out of all the generic cute girls doing cute things shows, this one was my favorite of them.
Yeah, this one really stood out.
This was my favorite. The first episode of this has aired, and apparently it is quite good.
Yep, it has.
Apparently it's quite good too. So, I do, and the premise too is actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
it's about a bunch of girls who go to the South Pole. And they live there. Why would they live in the South Pole is beyond me. But
I guess we have to watch the show to find out, Matt.
However,
airing now, simulcast on Crunchyroll every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Yeah. I don't know when it actually airs.
However, the big thing that is making this show interesting to some people is that it's directed by the same director as No Game, No Life. So,
ooh.
Yeah, No Game, No Life, as well as Princess Stride Alternative. So the director has a damn good resume.
Indeed.
Studio Madhouse as well.
Yeah, it's a fucking Madhouse show.
Which I find very interesting because they don't normally do this kind of stuff, but when you watch it, you're like, I feel a little bit of Madhouse in there in the character designs.
Yeah, I noticed the Madhouse tag attached to the show, and I'm like, really? This is a Madhouse show? That seems kind of weird. And then I remembered Cardcaptor, and I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And what I do find interesting, too, is that out of all, the cute girls doing stuff, this is the only one this season that's an original series. This is an original anime, not based on anything.
Yeah.
Which is a...
I have some notes.
You have some notes.
I have some notes.
Yeah.
Really cute. Really cute designs.
Really cute. Great PV. I love the PV. I love the music, too.
Yeah. Trailer was great. Really cute designs. The story is really interesting. I have a soft spot for, travel road trip type stories. So, especially since they're going to fucking Antarctica. Hell yeah.
That's new. We haven't seen that before.
It's really intriguing, and it could open to some really interesting plot lines later down the road. The characters themselves are really expressive, and they seem very endearing based on how they act in the trailer. And I like how it focuses on them and how they interact with one another. I really hope that's the focus of the show. It's not so much, the destination, but the journey and everything that happens in there with, the girls. My only problem with it is that it seemed a bit generic, but you can easily overlook that. Like, that can easily be dealt with if it has, like, the right direction.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Toji no Miko, or in English, Katana Maidens, which is Studio Kokomi's second show of the season. I don't know how to feel about this one, to be honest. Oddly enough. This is one of the few that this season I was like, I'm kind of mixed. Because it looks cool.
Wait, Matt, are you telling me that you're not totally into the show where samurai magic girls fight against giant monsters who are being controlled by the government?
I mean...
Are you telling me that's not, like, show of the season for you?
No. No, it's not show of the season, man. That's coming up.
Oh yeah, that's actually next.
Yeah, okay,
Holy fuck, let's get through this quick.
We'll get to that in a sec. But, Toji no Miko, it's Studio Gokomi's second show of the season. The director of it worked on Cyborg 0009 before. Honestly, the trailer had some cool stuff in it. Animation was pretty good. But other than that, it just feels kind of generic.
Yeah. It had pretty good designs for the most part, in terms of character design. Some were more interesting than others. The design of the monsters looked pretty cool, even if the CG was jank as fuck.
CG was jank as fuck. Not as jank as the fucking as some of the other shows we've mentioned.
Yeah. I felt that the animation was like a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Because in the monster fighting scene, when they're fighting the CG worm thing, it wasn't that great. But in the traditional 2D hand-to-hand combat scenes, it looked really fucking good.
Yeah, which is why, like, everything about this show is like, this could be good, but it also could be shit. That's why I'm so mixed on it. So...
Also, did you notice at the end of the trailer there was a character who looked just like Satsuki from Kill la Kill?
Yeah, it did, actually. It looks exactly like Satsuki. That could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. Who knows?
Because, I mean, Satsuki.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's Kill la Kill, and why?
Yeah.
But...
Okay, moving on, because we gotta talk about fucking show of the season.
The show of the season, and I think considering how many people have it on their plan to watch list, this is probably gonna be the most watched show of the season. Violet Evergarden. If you're watching this podcast, I'm not gonna do much description on it because I'm pretty sure if you watching this podcast, you like anime, which means you probably know what Violet Evergarden is. So. It looks...
This show is fucking gorgeous!
This show is gorgeous. Holy shit.
Holy
Some
fuck.
of the best animation I have ever seen for an animated show, ever. Not just anime, not just American. Like, this is just one of the best looking shows I've ever seen. And it's...
Yeah. Like,
the premise is amazing. It seems to be, it's a very like unique premise. The it's fucking Kyoto Annie who can do literally no wrong, in my opinion. It sounds stellar. The music is amazing.
The fucking soundtrack.
Just everything about this. This is my most anticipated show of the season. This is my most anticipated show of the season. This is the show I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah, this is like, this came out of nowhere for me because, unlike, I'm assuming, a lot of other people, I wasn't on the hype train for Violet Evergarden because I didn't really know that much about it. But then after researching it for this podcast and watching the PV, hell yeah. Like, fuck, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Now, famously, though, Violet Evergarden has been licensed by Netflix. And
Yeah.
in some countries...
And that pissed me off when you told me that.
In some countries, it's going to be Netflix's first ever anime simulcast. It is currently unknown whether or not it's going to be it for US and Canada. There were reports that it wasn't going to be, but there's also now reports coming in that it might actually be simulcast here as well. So we currently actually have no idea.
And if it isn't, that means we gotta wait 3 months to watch the show, and by the time that comes around,
the hype would have died down.
Like, when you told me that this was gonna be Netflix's first simulcast, I was stoked, because I have heard more than one complaint about how Netflix handles the distribution of their anime. And I've seen many a video on YouTube of people clamoring for them to change the fucking the fucking model. And when you told me this is their first simulcast, I'm like, oh man, they're actually listening to the community. They're actually gonna try and properly simulcast it so that people aren't left in the dark. And then you told me, oh, there's a very good chance that it won't be simulcast in North America. And I'm like, so basically, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with Netflix. Nothing has changed about the model. They're just doing whatever Netflix does, and they're not even trying. They're not even fucking trying. If they don't simulcast it, if they do, then this rant is pretty much obsolete. But if they don't, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like Netflix, what the fuck are you doing? People would pay an arm and a leg for your service if you just properly simulcasted your anime. The same thing goes for Amazon, and thank God they're getting rid of Anime Strike, because that was a bullshit business model to begin with. But Netflix, I know from my personal experience that most of the stuff I watch on Netflix is primarily anime. So, especially with something like Violet Evergarden, which came out of nowhere and just fucking rocked me with that fucking PV, I would kill to get that simulcasted on Netflix. But if they decide that they're not going to do it and they're going to stick to their stupid bullshit business model, which actually makes them lose money in the long term.
Because the analytics say that most people fucking binge watch anime, which, by the way, the only reason that is because not everyone who has Netflix is an anime fan, so they just watch whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. And also the people who do watch anime only binge watch it because you only release them in a fucking batch. Like, if you fucking properly simulcasted it with a new episode every week, like you have done with some of your other Netflix original shows, people would go out of their way to fucking watch it. Because I don't know about you, but it looks like I'm going to have to if they go through with this, but I don't want to have to go out of my way to pirate something that I legitimately want to support legally because Netflix is a bunch of dumbasses who don't know what people want.
Yeah. It's so fucking frustrating. Especially when this looks so good and so gorgeous. Plus, apparently, the show has been done for some time, too. Fucking Kyoto Annie does all their shows beforehand. They're one of the few studios that don't do it week to week. They do their animation, a year to 6 months beforehand. So this show's been mostly done for a while. They're just airing it now. So there's no excuse.
Yeah, that just pisses me off. Because everything about the show looks so stellar. It's so fucking gorgeous. Possibly not only the best looking show of the season, but possibly of the entire year, and we've only just started 2018. So what does that fucking tell ya? The character designs are so gorgeous and expressive and conveying. Like, I can literally feel the emotions of these characters bleed through the screen. Like the story premise, it seems that it's focusing on like a greater emotional element, which I dig emotion in my anime. So I hope that if they're going with this direction, they stick to it. Because the emotions that they expressed in this trailer from the characters are so well portrayed, and they resonated so deeply with me on a personal level. And like of course, the one fucking show, maybe even more so than Darling in the Franxx, that I'm extremely hyped to watch, and I want to watch, gets picked up by Netflix, who cannot even begin to even consider, maybe even, like, a little bit, trying to change their model. Like, just a little bit. Like, one show. That's all we need.
Yeah. And even then, this year, they're not even focusing on anime. They want to focus on their original movies. That's what they want to focus on. They want to focus on their own original shit.
It just pisses me off to no end, man. Mm-hmm. Like, if it was any other show than Violet Evergarden, I'd be okay with it. But of course, it has to be Violet Evergarden.
The worst part about this is that they announced this license like a year ago. They've had this license since it was announced.
I don't, there's no excuse. I don't understand.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, Violet...
It doesn't kill my hype for the show, but I assume that it will greatly hamper my enjoyment of it. Which fucking sucks. Because the show looks fucking phenomenal. Possibly even like a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. If it goes in the direction that I want it to go, and they keep it consistent, and... Mm-hmm. But of course, Netflix has to fucking ruin that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, rant over. Sorry about that.
You got heated there for a second.
This is a very heated topic for me because
fucking heated. And with that,
because I love Netflix. I support Netflix, but when they go out of their way to stick to these stupid, outdated business practices that no one fucking wants, that's when I have an issue. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on before I go on about it some more.
Yeah.
Whew.
So, moving on after that, fucking, we have the 4th season of a long-running show, Yowamushi Pedal. I don't watch Yowamushi Pedal, so I don't know.
Me neither. I never heard about it before I researched for this podcast.
Yeah, it is a sports show about cyclists, and apparently it's actually really good, from what everyone has said. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I have never seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Like, it's the 4th season. It's a sports anime, but this looks fucking killer, dude. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it does. It looks, dude. Low key, sports anime are the hypest anime of all time.
Yeah, like honestly, like I wrote down in my notes. Well, first off, the animation's spectacular, just fucking gorgeous all the way through. Character designs amazing, vibrant, expressive, unique. They nailed that shit. I wrote in my notes, if this is anything like the most famous over-the-top sports animes like Haikyuu or Kuroko's Basketball, then this is going to be freaking great.
Yeah. The studio TMS Entertainment, they also worked on Relife a couple years back. They also do Detective Conan and Deep Gray Man. So...
Yeah, man. Like, if it wasn't the 4th season of a show that's been going on for a while, I'd probably watch this.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the 4th season of a show that I haven't seen. So, and with
fortunately though, Crunchyroll has the first 3 seasons.
I do plan on watching at some point, but then again, I say that about everything.
Yeah, because this PV looks fucking killer.
But then again, I say that about everything, so who knows.
That is true.
And with moving, next show we have is Judo Camp, Triangle. I don't know what the triangle is for. But
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
the English title's Laid Back Camp, by the way. And it's another slice of life. It, you know, I mean, animation-wise, it looks pretty good. It's C Station's second show of the season after that Soul Hunter remake. I mean, to me, there's better slice of life shows that are obviously coming this season, so I have no interest.
I don't know, man. I feel like I had better things to say about it than you. First off, the soundtrack, freaking great.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it, to be honest.
The soundtrack in particular, it reminded... You're gonna find this weird, but once I mention it, it'll probably click for you. It reminds me of Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Like the track in this trailer straight up sounds like the music from Chunnan in Sonic Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that Oriental vibe with like the flutes and all that fucking like killer stuff. I dug the premise. It's a simple story about, you know, two people coming together to share common interests and form a friendship. So sure, like it looks like the type of show that can bask in its simplicity.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that's the direction they go with, they keep it simple, they keep it focused, then it could be something great. And on top of that, great designs and animation. It's like a really warm, fuzzy type show. Like, it feels inviting.
Yeah, I just, no, it's just that it looks good. There's other slice of life shows that it piqued my interest more than this one, this season.
Yeah, I can see that.
Season. So, and we move on to the...
The final show of the season that we're talking about, which, honestly, I don't have much to say about it, but...
Token Rambu Hanamura. It's the second season of something that I have actually never heard of, ever.
Yeah,
doing research on it, it apparently wasn't that great. And the studio that does it, they're best known for doing your New Game, which, okay, admittedly, New Game was really good. I enjoyed New Game quite a bit. So, who knows? Honestly, this did nothing to me, for me.
Yeah. Like, outside of a couple cool-looking designs and a nice art style, I really got nothing. I have no idea what the show is.
Yeah.
And nor do I care. Nor did it make me care enough.
It's the second season of something, so... Yeah.
It didn't hook me enough to make me interested to try and catch up to watch this. So, pass, honestly.
And with that...
Which, that really sucks, that the last show that we're talking about is such a dud.
It's such a dud. That's every show that's coming out over the winter season.
That's every fucking show. 40 plus shows, maybe even more.
Yeah. So, Shane, out of the...
are we going into this now? Is this what we're doing?
We're gonna... What are the 5 shows you're gonna be the 5 shows you're gonna most likely be watching this season?
Okay, 5, you say.
5 shows.
Okay. Well, obviously, Darling in the Franxx just looks spectacular in every way. Definitely, still my most anticipated show of the season. Definitely going to be watching that once it starts simulcasting. Cardcaptor, I gotta. I'm sorry. But it looks freaking great. I can't pass it up. Obviously, when I eventually am allowed by the Netflix gods to watch it, Violet Evergarden, clearly.
Yeah.
I don't condone piracy, but if Netflix isn't going to change their model to let this show air the way it should, I might have to just to watch it because I really want to watch this show. And that's what sucks about, the streaming scene right now, especially with Netflix and Amazon and the way they're handling it. Is like, you have to resort to piracy to watch these shows, and you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. But if I have to, I have to. because I want to watch Violet Evergarden because it looks fucking phenomenal. Let's see what we got. Oh, obviously, Takaki-san. Yes. I really don't have to justify that. It's wonderfully innocent and hopefully pure. And if the entire show is as cute as that one PV, hoo boy, we're in for a treat. So that's 4, right? I got one more. Okay, Cardcaptor, Darling in the Franxx, Takagi-san, Violet Evergarden. Man, a 5th pick is tough. Because there's something like Killing Bites, which looks like stupid, but great. There's something like the ramen show, Ramen Daisuke Koizuma-san, which looks stupid, but great.
I
Man.
know you're missing one that I know for sure.
Oh, am I missing one?
Let me give my top 5, and you'll probably realize what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
The 5 that I'm most looking forward to are, Darling in the Franxx. Darling in the Franxx. Violet Evergarden's my most, and Darling in the Franxx. Overlord 2.
Okay.
7 Deadly Sins Season 2. And Takaki-san. That's the other one I'm looking. Those are the.
So I missed 7 Deadly Sins. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Yeah. Okay. I'll give it to 7 Deadly Sins. Even though I haven't caught up on the first season, I would be more than happy to catch up. Honestly, a couple other shows that are interesting. The ramen one, I'm an idiot apparently, but goddamn, I would watch that. Fucking the Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion, the stupid 4Kids looking show. Hell yeah. If it wasn't the 4th season of a show, Yowamushi Pedal, hell yeah. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah.
Cardcaptor, Darling in the Franxx, 7 Deadly Sins, Takaki-san, and Violet Evergarden.
Hakumen Tomikoshi almost made my top 5. Because that one I'm really hyped for.
So then, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna mention that we don't talk about the movies here on when we do this.
No.
I'm just gonna briefly mention briefly mention 3 of them that are significant. We're not gonna go into detail about them though. The Bungo Stray Dogs movie comes out this season in Japan. The Chinibyo movie comes out tomorrow, as of recording, and Mazino Z, the rebooted Mazino Z starts movie comes out in about a week in Japan. So those are the 3 significant movies that come out this season. Again, we're not talking about them because 1, they're movies, so we can't really get them, and second, there's not much we'll be able to say about them anyways. So no, and with that, Shane, I do believe that we are almost done here.
Yeah, real quick, one more thing, before we sign out. I feel it's only necessary that both of us, state what our most anticipated show of the season is, and just, a brief reason as to why. So, Matt, take it away.
My most anticipated is easily Violet Evergarden. Kyoto Animation is one of the best, if not the best, single animation studio in the anime business right now. They have done nothing but gold for the past decade, and this looks like a continuation of that. They're going into a genre that they've never really tackled before, which is science fiction. Plus, they seem to be going into a more darker direction with the story than they usually do. It looks visually gorgeous. The music is amazing. And plus I just love the concept. I love the idea of what Violet Evergarden's about. It just seems like the type of show that, honestly, if it's as good as they're hyping it up to be, this is a show that will end up being a classic later years down the line.
Yes.
So, Shane, what is yours most anticipated of the season?
You know, it was a really tough pick between Violet Evergarden and Darling in the Franxx, because both shows just look incredible in their own unique ways. But I gotta give the nod as my most anticipated show of the season to Darling in the Franxx. Mainly because this has been my most anticipated show of the season for quite a while. Basically everything everything I've seen of this show so far has clicked with me. The animation, the art style, the character designs, the premise, the focus on world building and character interactions, the fucking soundtrack, which is fucking lit. Yeah, man, just everything about this production just resonates with me on some kind of level. I told myself once I found this show and I watched the trailer, because I've seen the trailer way before we started researching for this podcast. Once I found out about this show and I realized that it was Trigger, and as someone who has watched not only Kill la Kill but Gurren Lagann both this past year for the first time, I'm hyped. Like, I told myself as soon as I found out about the show that this will probably be the first seasonal anime that I watch on a weekly basis. Because I've fallen behind on a lot of shows from last season. Like, I still have to catch up on Ancient Magus Bride. I want to watch Inuyashiki, which I heard is very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really been following. I haven't really been following any shows on a weekly basis as they air throughout the season, but I made a promise to myself that Darling in the Franxx looks so good, so phenomenal, and it hooked me on such a deep level that I will go out of my way to make this the first seasonal show that I watch on a weekly basis as it airs. And since you said it's getting, 26 episodes?
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be a good season. For all those reasons and more, which I won't mention because this episode's running pretty long, Darling in the Franxx is easily my most anticipated show of the season, if not the year, if it wasn't for Violet Evergarden. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to love every second of Darling in the Franxx, and I feel like it's going to be brought up more than once over the course of our numerous episodes that we produced this year.
Yeah, overall, thoughts on the season, I think it's a strong season, actually. It's a pretty strong season overall, to be honest. Pretty strong season.
Yeah, I didn't have many, I didn't have many expectations for the season going into researching all these shows. But man, Winter 2018 sure has a pretty good batch of shit coming out.
Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty damn good season overall. Better than I expected. Better than most winter seasons, which are usually pretty dead.
Better than I definitely expected. There are more than enough shows in this season that I definitely want to follow.
And with that, we're pretty much done here. Now, normally we not so. Before we sign off, I believe it's going to be time to mention what's going to be the featured anime for next week, for 2 weeks from the next podcast.
Ooh, okay. You haven't told me beforehand, so this will be a surprise. Let's see.
So before I say what it is, this is how it's going to work. Every time we do one of these, it's going to alternate between one that I pick and one one that I pick. And one that we randomize using a random anime generator, which you can find online. I'll link the website in the description. I use it quite often if I just can't find an anime to watch. It's actually quite useful. But this week we're going to start with one that I picked out, and I decided to pick out one that both of us have already seen, so that way you don't have to.
Okay. Keep him familiar to start off with. I dig it. What is it, Matt?
And it helped hype up a show that you had no idea what it was. Featured anime of next week will be the original Fullmetal Alchemist.
I dig
it. Will
it.
be the first featured anime on our podcast. It will be next week. It will not cover Brotherhood or any of the movies. Just the original 51 episode.
Just 03.
Not Shambhala either. If we do Shambhala, we'll save it for another episode. It will be just the original 51 episode 2003 run of Fullmetal Alchemist, directed by Seiji Masuda and animated by Studio Bones.
Okay, I can dig that. Good place to start off.
Yeah, I figured, considering it's one of our all-time favorites. So
before we leave, we're going to be trying to do the show on a bi-weekly basis as much as we possibly can. There are going to be some weeks in there where we can't record for whatever reason, but we're going to try and put out an episode of The G.A.P every 2 weeks. And the format of the show, like Matt mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we're going to be starting off the podcast covering anime news from the past 2 weeks, and then the second half will go into the featured show of the week, have a big discussion about that, and that will lead into the conclusion of that episode and setting up for the featured anime of the next episode. Yeah. So you can expect that to be a consistent format for the show going forward, and hopefully we can keep up with it.
And episodes won't be nearly as long as this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're almost on 3 hours, and that's only because we had so many shows to talk about. Yeah, I was gonna mention to you after we're done recording, we're gonna try and keep these under 2 hours from now on. Yeah. Keep them like a good healthy amount, but not too long.
Probably around an hour. I would say.
Yeah, we'll probably get better at this as we go on because it has been a while. But we'll quickly get into a beat here.
Yeah,
so
and with that, I think it's time for us to wrap up. My name is Matthew, aka Legion Rex. This is Shane, aka the Bearded One. You can find Shane at his channel, the Bearded Gaming Network. I'll leave the link in the description below. There you can find all kinds of different things, unboxings, let's plays, the Bearded Banter podcast, along with several other things. I believe you're doing your Game of the Year video soon.
Very
as of
soon.
This recording, as of when we upload this, it might even be uploaded. Who knows?
I doubt that, because there's a lot of editing that goes into that, because I record footage of each game that we talk about. But I'm going to try and get that out within the next 2 weeks. And then that will eventually lead to the return of BGN. Once I get my new editing PC and get everything set up there, I can get back to that. So you can find me there, the Bearded Gaming Network on YouTube. You can find Matt at his channel, Legion Rex,
the Dead channel.
The Dead channel, where he'll hopefully be posting his own shit soon, maybe, but who knows?
Who knows? But I'll leave the link in the description because there are videos there that I have that you can still watch. So.
And of course, if you liked hearing us ramble about anime for close to 3 hours, you can subscribe to the G.A.P podcast on YouTube. Like we said, we're going to try and get episodes out every 2 weeks where we talk about a bunch of different stuff in regards to anime and just have a good time.
Oh yeah, it'll be a wonderful time. So with that, I'm Matt, this is Shane, and keep on watching your anime.
Thank you for listening to The G.A.P. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe to the G.A.P podcast YouTube channel to get the latest podcasts as they go live. Be sure to like and comment and let us know what you guys think of the show. And if you want an audio-only version of this episode, you can check out our SoundCloud page. The link will be in the description. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.